What's up, everyone? We've got about 13 viewers. We're going to wait till we hit about 25, and then we'll get going. But welcome all, everyone. Go ahead and give me a sound check in chat if everything sounds good.
Yep. How we doing? Good morning, all. All right. A couple more and we'll get it rolling. 18, two more. First up, we got Cardano. All right. We got 18. Let's get a couple more. Back to my list here. We got a big list.
Hey, Tezzy. Good morning.
All right. Tezzy and Bird. Come on, let's get a couple more. We'll hit that 20.
James.
Flavius. James M. All right, one more and we hit it. It's so funny, because you develop a relationship with people through the Discord, but you have no idea their age, their background. So yesterday, one of our members who's had a lot of dialogue with me, I had no idea anything about his background. I thought he was maybe 24, 25. He's 53, living in Moscow, has an engineering degree, and he's drilling oil in an island off of just a fascinating guy. And I had no idea. Cool. I had no idea anything about his background, because all I see is, it's just a handle and a red dot. It's interesting to fill in the background of the people watching. Okay, there we go. So we got 21. Let's get her started, guys. All right. So you guys know the drill. Well, first off, let me mention, excuse me, we apologize for not being on yesterday. We had, a bit of a family issue that my partner was unable to be with us. So we just kind of took everything from yesterday and lumped it in. So we'll look at any asset today. Predominantly, most of what we got, about 80% is crypto. But members rallied and gave us a good turnout here. So we've got a lot of things to look at. And I like to start this just by reminding people that while there's a purpose to why we do this. One, as members, they're submitting the assets that they're interested in. They've done some TA on it. So it gives us a chance to get a feel for how the quality of their technical analysis and how their skill set is improving based on our methodology, right? That's the only framework we can really use. But almost more importantly, I think it's a great opportunity for people to find trades that might be setting up that are going to be predominantly based off of our methodology, right? Which is, I think most people watching here will have a feel for it. While Elliott is a big part of it, I continue to emphasize to people, and I make a point of this, it's the third priority with regards to our entire approach to the market. When it's convenient, when it offers value, I use it, but it's optional. So that's why we've now really diversified, I think, particularly with my partner's approach, that is less Elliott focused. And it's a really unique approach to supply and demand and geometry and support and resistance levels. So we've really broadened out the approach. Now, as most of you know, I'm an Elliott trader, but I don't consider myself a purist. So quite often I have my purists on my team because we have some, upper level 2 certified Elliotticians. They'll catch me on a few things that I miss. But for the most part, something like this, that as we're looking at, this is hard. It's hard not to see the Elliott wave pattern. I mean, really hard to miss it. But of course, if you look at what's posted here, the thing that should really stand out to you is the corner pocket, right? So you see from the corner here how we get to the median line. So there's your 80%. Now this is one of our members who's been very, very successful in crypto, well, across the markets in general. So this is him posting, but he has an annoying habit of not giving me a chart I can work with. He always just gives me an image. So I can't work with his again, all I've got is an image here. So what I tend to do, I kind of can get a look at what he's done, and then I'll replicate it over here on my screen so we can kind of dig into this. Now, most people, right, if you're watching this, I'm going to assume you're keeping an eye on what's booming in crypto. So it's a pretty remarkable time here with the alts booming. Now, the question is, are we hitting that sweet spot with the alts where Bitcoin will go sideways, maybe drift a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but it really allows the alts to fly. So something like Cardano here, as we look at this, I mean, again, it's almost impossible not to see. If you've studied any Elliott, it's impossible not to see the impulse there. I mean, my eye, I just see 5s and 3s every time I look at a chart. So with this setup here from this low, I mean, yes, that is our COVID low. But I mean, it's how do you miss that 5-way structure? It's really, really hard not to see it. Now, so let's put the pieces together. So we get a swing, internal retracement, right? That's very much in line with structure, right? So we see, okay, well, that makes sense to me. Okay, swing. That's a little shallow for a 2, but you can understand why it would stop there. So we get our corner pocket, right? And as I like to remind you guys, best odds in trading, there's our 80%. Sometimes people think, oh God, this is all set up. Like you must do this in advance so you can just show these. Never once have we ever done anything that was set up in 3+. Geez, Bonnie, how long are we going? We're almost 3.5 years now. So looking here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got this nice here. I'll pull this out. We got this nice triangle into the 4, which is much what it seems to be might be going on with Bitcoin. But 1, 2, 3, we're going to go sideways into the 4. We get a better. This is actually a cleaner structure here than Bitcoin gave us, where it's, you're looking at that going, well, what 1, 2, 1, 2, when you're confused, often like if I'm struggling, triangle. And that's exactly what we've got. So now in terms of any targets here, again, this is just straight Elliott. Length of the 1 projected from the proposed 4 gives us a couple of targets. Now, this is a pretty big 3, but it's not outside of what you'd anticipate. Now, one thing I should note here, I am in log scale. All right, so in and out of log, very different picture. But here in log, now we come just shy of making the 1618. And if you look at FashRefs, he's giving us all the internal counts. So he's going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So if we look at that, the implication is if it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, okay, so we've completed 1, but we're just completing the internal 3, 4. So he's got another leg on this. So while, let's see how, I'm not sure I'm with you on that. Well, it's a possibility here, but I don't think you need to put an additional degree on this yet, because this hitting the median line, coming just shy of the 1618, I'm more inclined to lean into that as a 3. And there's this looks like a triangle too. So I can see why he's doing that. All right, so here you'd think 1, 2, and then you'd want to go again, but this looks triangle-like. And one hard rule in Elliott is you can't have a triangle in the second. So it gets a little dicey in here, but this is also very 4-like. I'd be inclined. A lot of times I'll work backwards because this certainly looks like the 4. So even if it's 1, 2, 3, that's your classic 4 type of structure as it stalls there and goes sideways. I'd be inclined to stick with this until I'm forced to change it. So the 1, 2. Now, if this had gone higher here, I might not. But right here, I'd just go with what I've got right here. And I don't think that's going to affect any trading decisions, because the only reason, if you added another level into this, well, now it ultimately 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 is very, very bullish. So as we come up here to complete something, well, there would be the most common target. And we'd have a revisit to the median line. Now we're pushing the outer edge here, but of course you could just put this is what I would do. I would just go out to, let's see how the 175 cuts it. Looks like it wants a 2. 2 will do it. So let's get rid of that. Let's put this one on the green and we'll make it, just force a habit. I just do it this way. So I always know we're an outside runner here. So I've got the 200 here. So I don't like to go much beyond the 200 unless I'm combining 2 of them. So out here at the 200 from the median line, for that to track back here to get that 5, it certainly looks like it's well on its way. Now, is it going to go straight? Probably not. So I'm on a daily. Oh, what did you give me, Fash? You gave me a daily. Okay, so let's go to the 4 and now just kind of dig in and say, well, does it look like we're done here? Well, here's the 1618, which would not be an unreasonable target to hit. This is pretty much a straight shot. So and I think he's done the same thing. So just, That's a little ugly there. 1, 2. It looks like there's your classic 4. So are we done? Let's see what he's got. He's got it. We're pushing the top of the 3. That makes sense. Oh, that's a little tricky in there. I probably have to do it that way. That looks like 4, 5. So that looks like that completes. There's classic ABC, zigzag into the 4. Close enough. Into the 5. So then it's just same thing every time. Okay, so if that's the length of the 1 and this is my 4, well, where am I? Well, I'm pretty good rip here coming all the way to the 138. So if you're watching Cardano, as so many are, and you're thinking, okay, where's my opportunity to get in? Well, let's just kind of look here. Well, a little divergence. Okay, volume. I'm going to push it off here because that distorts it a little bit because it's got to accommodate the other. Right, so now it looks a little more impressive. So this is a pretty good shot of volume, but we're a little softness here. So is it a place to be a buyer? Probably not. This would be higher risk in terms of location, but boy, talk about a great one for the watch list. So anything down here would be appealing, right? We can come down into any of that. Even here. Now, very little structure here because we've just gone straight lunar here, and it has not built much of a base other than right here. So any sort of a retrace here has to be something that you're looking to buy, right? So 1, 2, something like that. Give us a 2, and we keep going on the assumption that the top's not in yet, which is, I mean, that's a reasonable target up here. So that would give us 950-ish. See, this would feel a little bit stunted. Like we didn't quite, if I pull that all the way back out, like we didn't quite get the range. So if we're going to stall here at the 618, which is, again, it's not unheard of, right? If we stalled here and rolled over here, this would feel a little stilted. Like, oh, so something changed in the markets. I think that looks like a much better target up here. So I'd just be watching here saying, okay, I got a potential clean 5 that's finished here, even if we get onto the hourly. If that's done, well, I'm just going to sit patiently and wait for the next. Now I'm already long here, so I would just be looking for the next opportunity. And any sort of a 3 that comes down here gives me a little bit more. So for example, Bitcoin has been doing this, right? It's just doing this. It's just doing a little 3 and then it's going again. We can't get any sort of an impulse started for a deeper retracement in Bitcoin. And it seems like these are kind of doing the same thing. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can see the finish here on the 60. So I'd be just patiently waiting, which is so hard when crypto's booming because the FOMO is palatable. That's what you got to wait for. And then I would just tee it up again, same thing, right? Same process every time, right? If I got this or this a little bit deeper or takes a little bit more time, I'm just teeing that up, looking for the next shot up. So not a great time to be a buyer. I would propose a little double top here, now heading down. Not a great spot to be a buyer, but certainly one for the watch list. So I'd alert the 38. So I knew if it got there, right? Am I going to get there with a shallow 2? Right? I would just want to be aware when I got to the 38. If it's going a little bit deeper, okay, well, down here's POC. We're going to come to the golden zone. Then I get another golden corner. So it looks good. Fast Rev, your work is tight. Looks good as usual, but I'm with you on upper targets still to come. All right. So that'll work on Cardano. Certainly one to have on your watch list.
Don't forget the 2 that are above from yesterday as well. There should be.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see those. So that starts with Master Shifu?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let me keep moving. Let me take that off here. So Master Shifu is giving me this here. Okay. Let's keep moving here because I tend to go too long. We got a lot to get through today. So hopefully lots of good setups for people to get some ideas from. Okay. So this takes a minute. Internet Computer Perpetual Futures. I don't think I know this. Do you know this pair, Monty?
Yeah, it's ICP. It's a newer one, and it fell really, really, really hard. But basically, I think it's a decentralized internet kind of thing.
Okay.
Which there's a few of those that are trying to do that, but this is supposedly their tech is pretty good, but man, it fell hard.
Okay, let's get a big picture here on what's happening here. All right. Oh, yeah, sure did. Okay, so do we want to be in log scale there? Well,
yeah.
I mean, you got a pretty good range. So I would just to get the separation, whether or not I'm going to analyze it here, just popping it here, I get that separation so I can see what the hell's going on here. So this nice start, and then maybe not. But that's pretty typical for a new crypto project. They get hammered, builds a base. So what do I see here? This is what I see. This is really all that matters. Okay, so we're building a base to relaunch. So you might give this some white coffee and structure. Automatic so phase A, B working, right? So maybe there's one more pull down here before this goes. Is there some Elliott there? Well, sure. Now, Master Shifu, you got a lot of stuff on here. I'm gonna hide that here so I can get some idea. Is he doing a Monty pull here? Is that why this looks a little funny?
I think he said he was doing some Monty analysis on it.
Okay, so that's I got to hide that because that. Well, so just looking at that, right? So here, okay, so pull it over. If this is one that you like and you think has potential, this is kind of what you would want to see after that sell-off here. Signs of strength. Oh, you don't quite have. Let's go to a 4 hour here and see how that looks. It concerns me that well, there's an impulse there. So just standard ops, right? Same thing every time, right? I try and emphasize that because that's your superpower, doing it the same way every time. So I can squeeze a 1. That's a sideways 2. So you'd expect just guideline of alternation. You'd expect a deeper 4. So, that's a little complex there. So basically, well, it's clearly corrective, not note right to the Vegas wave. So I would just first thought is let's measure. How do we look here on this? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's deeper on the 2. So I'd start with this one. Oh shit, I get his. I forgot. When I copy theirs, I get their colors and everything else. So let's look at that. Okay. Well, there's 50 to the tick as we hit the Vegas wave. So this would have to be 1, 2. That's the only way that's going to fly as an Elliott count. This has to be 1 and 2, and we're going to go 3 and 4. You've got, so this, you'd have to do this as a WXY. It looks like you'd have to go ABC, X, ABC. So combo, but I wouldn't stress on the labeling too terribly much. Right, so corrective. So to come back here, that looks like, let's go zig in there a little bit more. Now, is it just sympathy move in concert with what's going on across crypto today? Well, you're right to the golden zone. Now, curiously, coming out of log here, what I'm doing, now that I condense my view here, I don't need to be in log because I'm not looking at that same range. So I would take it out of log here and say, okay, looking pretty good here. So I'm right to the golden zone. So what's the first thing I would do right here, right? Or that I would instruct anyone to do? Golden corner. So as long as this, now look at the reaction that's already happening from tapping the 65, right? I promise you it's not random. So he's giving me sort of some weird stuff here. What are we doing here? Okay, so here's our RSI. That's we're down to, what did we get to? 22. So you have this, right? So it's just natural reaction. We get that far down that you'll see a little kickback on that. Now, you can't count on it, right? So that's an important thing with any oscillator. They can stay pinned for a long period of time, but that's a good sign. So that's just what you want to see. So if we come out of there, that's not a lot, right? You can see all the internal structure that's going to have to fight through. That needs to show some legs here. And if it was me, that's where I would take it, because this, okay, good that we get that reaction. Now, if you're a scalper, right, and you're trading with 100x, shit, you might already be out, right? Because you're not after a big move. You're just looking for that reaction. But that is not enough for me yet, even though this looks like it's You're just going to have to complicate that. But this looks like it would be an ABC. But you can look at that and say, well, that's certainly, it's possible that this could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're taking a deeper move. So remember, with the golden corner, it's always, 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 as long as this pivot holds, that 80% stays in play. Now, so you can see here's the algo. It's going to be after that, right to the median line to get that 23.6. Again, watch list. I wouldn't buy it right there. This is not, because it was kind of, you'd look at it and you wouldn't say, oh, it doesn't look like Cardano, right? Where we had that nice, clear 5 wave, the structure where you had the nice big 3. You don't have that here. So this would be same thing, kind of, I like it, but I need to see a little bit more of a push, because just getting through this right here is going to be right in here is going to be problematic, right? That's a lot of resistance it's going to have to fight through. Same thing here, right? It's just kind of bunched up. So it needs this, for some reason I'm thinking it needs to stretch its legs, right? It's got to get out of all this congestion. We got to have signs of, okay, we're on the move. Right now, we could cluster in here for 2 weeks easily. So again, if you like this one, watch list. And certainly if you break the 50, then I'd start to get more interested, right? You're going to have some of this resistance. Of course, you're going to have an algo on the other side, but now you're getting really, really tight where it's just confined, because this will be here, right? We go here to here, right? That will be their weighting. So if I could get on the other side of that, then it starts looking better. But what you got to be careful about, and I know this from all the day trading we do, when it clears if you get here, it's typical that it would pause for a second. If it gets through, that's not the ideal time to buy, right? There has to be, you better see a lot of volume going with it, because what will often happen is it'll break through and then immediately will retrace, right? And that can be the safer play rather than trying to buy, because just the nature of how the market moves. To go that far without any sort of a retrace, the people that catch it down here are going to be dying to take profit, especially the short-term people. So when it gets through, don't assume that it's straight shot up. It would typically, just the market doesn't move that way. How does the market move? We talk about this every live stream. That's what the market does. That's all it ever does. And variations of that. Swing, retrace, goes external. It goes external on one side or the other, but it starts with a swing. We're going to go either external this way or external this way. That's all the market ever does. So here, show me you can clear all the congestion. Give me a retrace. I'd be all over it. Okay, good one, Master Shifu. Your work looks good as usual. Okay, so ICP, can't find any more data. Just seems to... It's a money chart. Okay, yeah. So he's just clarifying that he had thrown some of the money magic on that. Okay, well, I think we covered that one fairly well. Okay, I got Chris Hannell on AVAX. So let me grab that here and I'll keep moving. All right. Oh, gosh. Already. AVAX. We've looked at this, but oh, shit. Okay. Let's make a copy there, so I can see what's going on. Chris Hannell, one of our most improved. Okay, so I got to move that over here. Okay, this is going vertical. All right, so let me clear up a little room here. Again, I like to see this. When I see this, I know he's put the work in. So this is, as I often call it, this is a journeyman technician's work. So he's got his target. So you can see exactly what he's doing. Right? So what Chris has gotten so good at is now he's just developed the discipline. So when he sends me a chart now, he's got all of our components in. He's got pattern, price, time, geometry. It's all there. So you can see what he's doing, right? Okay. So we get off of the low, clear impulse. Here's a big, long, sideways, drifting lower correction that gives us, it's not quite a golden. You're not quite there. It looks like a front run. But from here, right, as long as this pivot holds, right, 80% in play. Now, if it fails to get there, different story. But right here, you've got a huge winner on your hands. Already, right? Just from this level here. Now you're about to clear the resistance, right? Because there's no history here. So there's nothing to keep it down, which is not insignificant when you're clear. So again, another way to look at it. Okay. Building a base. Now, are we out yet? Well, not until we clear that. Now here, let's see, I'm going to assume he's got his hundreds up here. So 1, 2. So here's the golden. So we know, since it went just shy of the golden zone of the 618, we know that's going to, well, here it is right here. So it's just funny, guys use different colors than I do. So here's his target up here for a wave 3 relative to this 1, 2. So now it's the process of getting there. How do we get there? Okay, 1, 2, looks like we're working on the 3. Oh, I know that's probably a little hard for you guys to see. Let me zoom in there a little bit. Okay, so here's his first corner. That's what set us up. Now, what he's doing here is he's using these zones here as support and resistance. So as we sit here, and again, this is it takes time to do this, but it will serve you well if you do this over time. So he's taken the time to work through every single swing. Now, this is a tricky one. So he's gone A, B, C into the W. He's expanded the X down for the Y. Tricky one because it doesn't quite look like that's deep enough. So 2 here, could you do that? Oh, shit, I don't think it matters. So here's a clear impulse off of this pivot. So even if you did it this way, which I might have looked there first, but even if you did it this way, because there's the clear 3, almost doesn't matter. Off of here, here's a clear impulse, and we're on an 8-hour that we have to account for. So even if it were here, 1, 2, well, that's going to be 1, another 2. Then yet again, 1, 2, 3, perfect 4, right? After this, perfect 4, and up for our 5. So we're seeking this third here. Are we in? Looks like there might be one more little kick to it. 3, so same kind of thing, right? So this is a great example. All right, so we're just waiting now, waiting for that. At some point, we'll get a pivot up here. We don't have it yet. Maybe that's a double top. You don't know, right? Maybe. Sure, looks like. I mean, what it's done so far is put in that double top. So I'm going to put that right here. So if we're going to come down a little bit further, this is the advantage of doing that. So you don't have to keep going, whoa, wait a minute, where's it going to find support? Where's potential support? Well, it could come down that far, right? Right on the lip. Often you'll see them, they'll turn on the ledge of the big peak. So this would be absolutely just perfect. Right? You're still in sync with the geometry here. You've got this 1, 2, 1, 2, because you got to account for it. So 1, 2, 1, 2 seems like the best fit there. Ripping 3. Are we done yet? It's hard to call that, right? So would you want to buy it there? Just in terms of knowing how the market moves, right? Would you want to buy it after it's that extended? I wouldn't. I'm a retracement trader, so I don't buy things that are going lunar. Because I know after 30 years of doing this, eventually at some point there will be a retracement. It always comes. It may be, you might leave, a huge move here, but eventually the temptation to take profit is just too overwhelming. And people will take profit, and then the stops get hit, and that's what always causes the 2 or the C or whatever it may be, where you're looking for the bigger move. So something like this, and again, he's done all the work for you. This is the advantage of these live streams. All the work, all the time. I'll bet it took him a couple hours to get everything nailed down. Now, you see the advantage of that? You're not just going, oh, well, breaks that line. He's got context here. 1, 2, that's an impulse. So what can we anticipate coming off of that? Something corrective. And since we had a kind of a little baby 2 here, you might expect something a little more complex. Could be a triangle. You just don't know. But right now, you're just waiting. Give me the correction so that I can buy it, right, when other people are selling it. Up you go. Now you get your 3, 4. It's a long way to go here, right? This is potential exit for him. So it looks like he was a buyer here. So look, you see where he entered and why he entered. We're coming off of the golden here. 1, 2, 1, 2. Despite, he and I might count that start a little bit differently, but here he's long, got a clear target. And it's based on patterns that tend to repeat. We got the median line hit. We've got coming off of the proposed larger wave 2. All the support and resistance is here. We've blown through. Stalls, blow through. Stall, blow through. Now, is that potentially the support? Just logically, that's what you'd anticipate. Now, is it going to go straight lunar from there? If we hold here and we go up there, well, that's, while it could enter here, it could do it here. You don't know when the angle, right, is a function of how long this 4 takes. But we could drift off, or we could do it here, right? That's the benefit of having that median line here, because it's a leading indicator, right? Not a lagging. It's projecting for you where this is potentially targeted. Now, what else are you going to use, right? If you're not using median lines to forecast, right, almost everything else you're doing is lagging. So you want to have a mix of, not to devalue oscillators that tend to be lagging, but you want to have a mix of the lagging, something that you're comfortable with, because most people are comfortable with RSI. They're comfortable with a MACD. They're comfortable with those things if they've spent any time in the market. These are all lagging indicators. Not to diminish their value, again, but you want to have something that's a leading indicator somewhere on your chart to give you a target. It could be a fib projection. But a fib projection could be the geometry is framing how the market's moving. All right, that's the advantage of it. So this, Chris, this is good work, man, as usual, right? Putting in all that detail work, right? Every swing accounted for. Then when the retrace comes, there's so much more confidence in pulling the trigger, because you know where you are. You have a roadmap. If you're wrong and stops you out, well, you're not going to risk it all the way back down to here. You're not doing that, right? So there's no possibility that he gets hurt here unless he does something incredibly stupid, which he's been at this now long enough. So look at all the detail work in here. Does it look like he's going to do something stupid? No. He's put too much work into this. He's not going to let something get away from him. Right? It's the confidence that comes from doing that work. Very nicely done, Chris. All right, let me keep moving here because I go too long. I know it. Do I have two from Fast Draft there? What is that one?
No,
Yeah.
I think you're just getting what you had.
So I did. There's a second one from him. That's
TEL.
Kel USDT. God, I don't know that one. Yeah, let me do that one. I don't think I've ever looked at that one. All right, so here's just new projects. I get ideas from these all the time. That's half the fun of doing them. I look, good, I hadn't looked at that. Okay, let's see here. Bash Ref again sending me an image that I can't work with. So one, that's clearly, that looks very two-ish, right? Expand the B, A, B, C. All right, I can live with that. 1, 2. Well, right? Do we have to wonder what that is? I don't think we do, right? Regardless of the count here, well, you can count it, right? But look at that move, right? So it's even if you're not going to go through you take the time to go, oh, well, that looks like the 4, and then work backwards. It sure looks impulsive, right? Just think of what that word means, right? We're moving impulsively as opposed to sideways, where we're thinking, we're deliberating. That's what creates sideways. This is impulsive. This is aggressive. You can think of it that way. We're contemplating. Now, are we going to go higher? Here, that's why, the third is the wave you're trying to get into, because that's where all the FOMO. This is fear, greed, a little fear. Can we get the greed going again? And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just natural state of human emotion. That is greed. Like, holy shit, look at all the money I'm making. Oh, fear. Oh, wait. Oh, God, I don't want to give that back. I better tighten up my stop. Fear. Oh, looks like we're going again. The greed glands start to fire again. So you're looking right here. Okay, so do you want to buy this right into that high volume node? Probably not. Right. So as it's rising here, so we got a golden zone from the top, right? We got the high volume node. Do you want to buy that? I know, right? So now you got to wrestle with your inner emotions, right? Oh, I see that. That's technical. I don't want to buy into that, but I don't want to miss it. So now it's FOMO battling with logic. Is that a logical place to want to enter the market? Well, the problem that traders run into is that if it breaks it easily, then you go, oh, fuck, next time I'm all in. I'll just buy it because I saw that happen before. Most of the time, it's going to stall here because why? Because there's volume here. So the people that sold this are going to defend it there. That's the only reason it stalls there. There's not a clear path to get higher. Now, it could go hit this, retrace, hit it again. Eventually, if it's going to keep going higher, it's not that every high volume node's got to keep the market down. It's just not a great place to enter because you don't want to buy into the market and then immediately be underwater, right? That's just right. The best trades you're in a profit quickly. They start to move. Those are the ones where you feel you're in tune with the market. Where your hair is like, oh, shit, I don't know, man. That's a big node here. Maybe it passes. Maybe it doesn't. Why put yourself through that? If it's going to go, shit, I don't have that anywhere. If it's going to go past it, then this would be the logical place to enter, because what you want to do is have it tested from above. That's where you enter the market, not buying right into it. It's like buying right into the all-time high or the structure high. Now here, right? So which one, right? It took 3 times. Well, 1, 2, third time it got through. Same here, right? It's a little pause. Look how it's reflected, right? That's why there's so much value here. Are we getting through here? Well, we got to pause for a second and think about it. Right, then the volume has to kick. Now there's nothing to stop it until it gets to here. And even so, it pauses right here, little pause. You can see it, big kick. Now, same thing. It's not that this is unlikely to go realize that. It's just, where are you entering? Well, this looks good, Fash. I like that, but you don't have so the implication here would be 1, 2, 1, 2, right? That's going to need to be 3, 4, 5 of the 3. So the Elliott structure is there, but I'd want to see that clear, and then I'd wait for the retrace to tap that, because now the buyers, right, they're going to defend there. See, that's the difference. You don't want to buy into where the sellers are going to defend. You want those sellers to get blown out, and then you want to buy it where the buyers are going to defend. That's the next leg. Good one here. I don't have you have one, Monty, at Qcoin, don't you?
Yeah, I've got an account there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a Qcoin account. I know sometimes I don't know if that's trading on other exchanges, but that's one to keep an eye on, right? Obviously, a nice look, just a beautiful move.
I like their exchange for the lower cap shit coins before they get to Binance.
Yeah, I've never even heard of this one. Do you know that one?
No, I've not looked. Fast Ref likes his smaller cap. Boom.
Right. A lot of people do, right? Because you get
upside's big, potentially
massive, right? I mean, you can buy a shitload of it, and if you get a rip like that, that could make your year right there. Just this tiny little shit coin that you bought at 0.0008.
Go to 5 pennies, boom.
Yeah, I know. It's just so right. It's like penny stuff. It's just amazing. Okay, let's keep moving. Okay. Oh, James M giving me ETH, man. He's been all over ETH. So let's see what he's thinking now. So let me clear these here. I think I got everybody cleared. That's mine. Okay, so we'll go back here. So we got, let's see. He's given me, he always gives me, I get 4 charts. So he's got to tell me bottom right. All right, so this is, give this a sec to load. I have this about 5 times from him, because every time I do this, I have to save it. So what it does, I end up with like 500 chart templates, because every time I look at member stuff, I have to save it. So if you looked at my number of my templates, okay, so this is the one he's looking at down here. He wants us to look at. All right, what are you thinking, James? James, one of our most successful members he sent me his P&L, I don't know, a couple of months ago. God, has he had a good couple of years with us. Okay, so that's about as tight as they get with regards to a retracement, but it works 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see it in there, right? You see it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's our launch 1. Well, it could be an A, right? So you don't know. And note here, right, as a good Elliottician here, he's giving you 2 alternate counts. Could be an A, could be a 1. We don't know. Right, because this could be ABC into a W, that could be X, or ABC into an X before it goes down. So giving you both here, all right, it's just good practice. 1, 2. Well, it's not going to be 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. That looks like a 3. That looks like a 4. Right, all of crypto. Right, same thing with Bitcoin. Are we putting in? Is it an ABC, or is the correction over and we're going 1, 2? This is very close to Bitcoin. Very close. Where you're having to deal with that. Oh, is it 1 sideways 2, and now we're into the impulse, or something else happening here? This looks pretty good here. So right now, okay. So look where we are. Do you want to be a buyer in the golden zone? I'm going to propose that not. Right, that's not a great place to be a buyer. Now, let it clear. You could see, right, the potential is there. So if this is going to be realized, it's got to clear. It's not like every golden zone here. I mean, they have to break on one side or the other. We go sideways. So, but to buy it here, see, you want to, knowing that that's there, you want to be a buyer here. So you've got some headroom rather than, well, look here, look what happened once we got there. Here's the first little tap into the golden zone. There's the reaction. So that's why you don't buy into the golden zone. Even if you were thinking this, if you're thinking, okay, it's one, come here. So shitty with that. 1, 2. Okay, here we go. Okay, well, maybe there was a scalp there, but as soon as you hit, you have to respect it, right? So you don't want to, the danger is you don't assume that it's going to break. You assume that it's going to hold. That will serve you much better than assuming it's going to break. Because as soon as you think, oh, it's going to break, I guarantee you it'll hold. So where would be a potential entry point here? Well, you'd have a very large, at a larger degree, you have that golden zone, but you have the potential for something else to be happening here. You've got a 1, 2, right? And it's mighty deep. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I've got, did we overlap there? Oh, shit, did we? We may not have. Sometimes it's hard to spot it. Look at that. All right. Okay. Shit that does not happen randomly. That's to the tick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you've got your 5, right? So it's not surprising that we're retracing a little bit. So we're on a 6 hour. James, let's go to a 2. Take a look at that. 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that? I would do this, right? Now call me crazy, but I would want to get that. Yeah, we held it by a tick. All right, so we have an impulse off of the low. All right. Okay. Well, again, you don't have to have 20 years of Elliott experience to do that. Okay. Well, okay. So I can spot the 5. Okay, it's a little tricky. 1, 2, 3. Vegas wave, right? Don't go eye blind to it. You see it right there. That's the 144, 169. That's the most common support zone. 233 is sort of your last stand. But this is really the Vegas wave, right? The 233, I just added to it. This is the Vegas wave, the 144, 169. So here to get that reaction, okay, well, the market is doing exactly what I'm anticipating. So I've got 5 going up. Excuse me. Well, that's part of the 4. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's my 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. All right. Where am I even to the 30 to the 50? No, I'm not. But I know I've got a good start on it. So there's really. So we went 5 into the golden zone and stalled. Now we're sitting at the POC. Well, we know we're looking for the 2. Between the 50 and the golden zone. This is where we'd like to see it. Now it's giving you that 3, but as is always the case with a correction, right? You just don't know. Is that going to go 3, 4, 5? And something else is going on, or is it going to go A, B, C and stall? Well, you never know. So this is the trade-off you make. So if you do that and you say, I'm buying it right there, well, you're setting yourself up for that potential. You'd have to put the stop under the golden zone. If you wait for the reaction, now, if you get the reaction, this is noteworthy. If you get the reaction at the 50 and then it rolls over, what just happened? We just went from a 3 to a 5. Now you're rethinking it. Oh, I was looking for a 3. I got a 5. That is a monkey in the wrench because that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for that to carry on in a 1, 2, even at that level. So I'm hoping that makes sense there because this is kind of an important point for an Elliott trader. If it comes down here and you're thinking, I got my 5, I got my 3, and you do that. Well, that's actually the ideal place to enter the market, even though the potential is that it does that. Based on pattern recognition here, 5 should be followed by 3. If it goes 5, then something else is happening here. Then this could be a large part of it. It could be an A, B, C. Something else is happening. So but look at the risk control here. Because if you think A, B, C, and that's 1, 2, before I go into the 3 of the 1 of the next wave, right? So you've got almost no risk here, even if I just do it this way, right? I can do this. And I can put the pivot, I can put the stop under that pivot. Now, if it takes out that pivot, okay, well, that sucks, right? Nobody likes to get stopped out. But if it does that, my entire framing of the market, the context from which I was approaching the market has changed. So I'll take that. Again, I like to use the boxing analogy. Okay, that's a jab. I can take that. That's not going to blow my account up. I'll take it, right? Nobody likes to get stopped, but it's just it's the cost of doing business. You're going to get stopped more than not. So you take the stop and you reevaluate, but you didn't let it get away from you. That's the point I'm trying to make, right? You don't want to be so stubborn and say, oh, okay, well, it's going golden zone. Well, hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. My context just changed because I was anticipating a 3 following that 5. Now I got a 5. Well, now something's wrong. When in doubt, get out and let the market reveal itself. But you don't take the fucking body blow. You don't take the uppercut to the jaw. That's just a little jab. You can jab me all day long. Eventually, I'm going to get a hit. Don't let them get away from you. James, I'm with you on that. I think this looks great, but that's how I would play it right there. Let that come down. We understand why it's reacting there. All right. Show me the 1-2. Low risk. Love it all day long. Good work, James, as usual. All right. Am I going too fast or too slow? Let's see. So I got, PKS Avenda up next. Oh, let's get that one. Another very, very improved. Oh, he's pretty good when he got here. All right. So what are we doing here? This is, does everybody else agree this is one of the biggest disappointments in the crypto bull run, that EOS has not gone, or maybe it's just late to the party? But I find that I've got some luggage here. It's not done well. Okay, let's give this a sec to load. Okay, so right off the bat, I already like what I see. So this is a 4-hour. Oh, there's our COVID low. All right, so we're working through a diag. Right? So this has been ugly, Elliott. But there's always a solution, right? So we can go 3. All right, I can go 3. Now, note we are in log scale, so in and out of log going to look different. Oh shit! Didn't mean to hit that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right off the bat, the first requirement is that if we're going to do a leading diag like this, 3 has to be longer than 1, right? Which, knowing PK, he's double checked that. Oh, look at that! Oh, how close is that? Right, just enough, right? So we can stick with the idea, right? Because this has been a cluster F of the highest order, trying to get a clean count on this. But the diag works because 3 is longer than 1. Now we can just look at it and see 5 is longer than 3. So I've got a leading diagonal, and it's technical, right to the 200. Okay, good. All right, and he's put the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your 5 of the A. 1, 2, 3 of the B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the C. Nicely done. A, B, C into the corner here. Now that looks like his golden zone. So we just missed the golden. So we get the wick gets through, but you got to account for it. Oh boy, we'll go deep there again. I would just put that there. I always like to see where I invalidate. So all I'm doing is just setting up an invalidation point. Okay, so excuse me, shit, I forget I have my mute. Allergies are so bad here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got a 1. Now, right off the bat here, just looking at that, excuse me. So there's a little bit of a challenge here with length of time, right? So this is kind of a slow grind from March to May. So that's about a year that we took to get through this leading diag. That's mighty sharp. So I would trade it, but I'd be mindful of the fact that there's a time imbalance here. That's pretty abrupt. But based on what's coming off of that, looks pretty good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, same thing. Leading diag into a 1, very deep 2. But now that does look impulsive. So do you see how he's run the median lines off of both pivots? So we got 1 here. So we get 2 targets, and they meet up here. This is tradable. So this is always a little tricky, which I've talked about this before. It's a little hard to prognosticate the triangle when you only have 2 legs of it potentially, right? Give me the C, show me a D that doesn't go beyond the B. And then I really lean into the triangle. Here, you don't know, because this could be A, B, C, right? We go. Now you would certainly be paying attention to the 1 wave here because we don't want that to overlap. So the triangle works here. This is very sharp short, sharp. This is sideways. So your guidelines of alternation would be good there. But if we did that, we'd be just completing the one. All right. So the context comes back in. Here would we do this? So this would be one. We'd be looking for the two down here, 3, 4, 5. Just put them up there. We got to put them somewhere. Let's go up a degree. 1, 2, 3. I like it. 4. We're completing the one. Right. So because this has been a bit of a disappointment relative to other assets in this category, to go up here, I'd wait for the clean one. This is me, right? Because one, I own a shitload of this, and but two, we just want to know. Okay, so I can lean into this because the ABC is there, but remember that we could easily have a WXY. So for this to be done, the only hesitation is just length of time. So I want to see that one complete, and then I would just sit here patiently. Okay, give me the 2, right? Coming back into all of this structure here would be what a perfect spot for it. Okay, come all the way back, right? Show me that you're an impulse, that I have a good pivot here. Even better, potentially, right? If you could get it, would be the shot to the median line. Now you're really looking good. Now, I'll be ecstatic if it'll do that. Now, maybe we stay in the framing here. So from upper parallel to lower parallel, and this maybe fattens up a little bit to the prior 3, 4, right? Which is what you'd anticipate. So even if you say, okay, I'm going to come down and the triangle is realized, right? For the next retrace, prior 3, 4 of the 1, 2 seems like a reasonable spot. And then you do the same thing, right? Same thing every time. If that's my 1, right? Depending on where we get it. Right now we're forecasting here without having it. Maybe it doesn't get there on the first run. Maybe it does something more typical. Well, what would be typical? Well, so how do you know? How do you calculate typical? How do you know what's typical unless you're using these kind of wave relationships? All right, well, here's my 3 coming just shy of the 1618. So I know that's a good candidate. If I'm going to get the triangle here, we'll just use that. Okay, well, there would be the 1618 of the 5th, which would be a lot to assume. What would be more typical? 100. So if I got the 100 here, if I got that, that way, you're looking down here going, okay, well, I can understand why it's stopping here. That's the most common, right? Since we don't have we didn't get beyond the 1618, we got close to it. You wouldn't want to assume anything out of the ordinary. So if you had a big extension in the 3rd, then you might look to the 618 in the 5th. But since you had just a typical 1, 2, 3 triangle 4, I'd be targeting the 100%. Do you see you've already got the 80% from here? You already got it, right? So it's already cooked. That's burned. But this one's still very much alive. Right? The 80% doesn't stay. It's not like, if it comes down to the lower edge, I got 80% again. No, it's from the corner to the median line. That 80% is burned. But this one is not. But good use of geometry here to put the structure on top of the current wave. That's what I'd be looking for. Let this complete because this is, again, we only have 2, right? We need C, D, and E before you're projecting for the 4. I'd let this cook. Show me you're a triangle. Go up for the 5. And then you could trade, right? If you love this project, you could trade from the 4 to the 5. No reason not to, right? You'd have a look where your stop would be. This is not bad at all because your stop is the pivot of the 1 because we can't violate the 1. So you could buy it there with a stop right 1 tick. It can't go a tick beyond it. Right there. So again, are you going to hit me there? Okay. You're not knocking me down. I can take a jab. Risk control, right? It's ultimately like everything else is secondary to your money management, right? Because you can be the best technical analyst on the planet. If you can't control the risk, if you're swinging too large and I don't put stops on stuff. I'm a cowboy, man. I just let them ride. That's how you end up with a blown account. You want to be a trader? Use your brain. Okay, let me keep moving. I got a double from James. I got James giving me. Of course he's giving me GRT. He's going to buy a new house with GRT. Okay, he's been all
beach
over
house.
Yeah, beach house. I'll tell you what, right? He has been dogged on this one. He's given me only give me a picture on this one. I think he did this just to include it because he never misses it. Okay, right off the bat, do you think that median line is having any influence on the market? So we're going through a correction, right? So he's working with an alternate here on the median lines. Here we get the tag, right? So if it's not going to ping right on the median line, it'll often gravitate around it. It's like a magnet to the market. Now we're pushing away. Well, we're outside of the first. Now this looks like that's a 50, right? So this would be the 100. This would be a 150. Oh shit! What is this? GRT to the dollar. I could swear I had. Well, either way, right? So we're completing. So he's got it going. If you see what he's got here, because this is kind of a tricky count out here on. This is his 3-day. So I got A, B, C into a Y. So it's gone W, X, Y. Right now, it looks like he's playing for the XZ to finish here. So shit, I wish I could draw on this. But here's the 38, and he's suggesting that if it goes down again, we're going to finish the triple. All right, so we'll get the WXYXZ. So he'd be looking for another zigzag here to complete this down to go to new lows on the 3-day. Well, the alternate would be if we just do swing, retrace, and then we start to go again. Well, then you'd lean into the low being in here. God, do you have to truncate that? You might. Wouldn't be much of an X. So the cleaner count from an Elliott perspective would be that we go down one more time. But since there is an impulse here, that's kind of putting a monkey in the wrench here. Oh, I see what he's got. He's got WXY. So we'd truncate here. We'd finish at this Y, and now we'd be starting in the 5. I'm sure that's what he's hoping because I know he's long as hell here. So 1, 2, now just waiting for the 2. Double top into the 5. Wouldn't surprise me at all right now. So a little peak of green here. We're not overdone here. Note the MACD now crossing the 0 line. Look pretty good there, but you'd wait for the retrace, right? You don't want to buy it into a double top. Like you can see the structure that it's running into. Up for 5, wait for the 3, then let it rip. Okay. Oh, here's someone giving me. Oh, this is James giving me. James M. This is the infamous. I think it is. I think this is the day of the wave count. Don't change the time frame higher than the daily. Okay, let me try that. Okay, so I think this is the day of the wave. Don't change the time frame. Oh God, I got Monty magic all over the place here. All right, well, if you guys want a taste of what's coming on Wednesdays. There it is. So here, what does he want me on? He wants me on this one here. Oh, fuck. I got to make a copy of it. Otherwise, I can't work with it. All right. Bear with me. All right. So interesting. All right. So we see some fib time coming in. I'm assuming that's what he's got here. What do we got over here?
I think he may want you on the other one.
He wants me on the weekly?
No, not the weekly one. To the right there. That's when he posted.
Oh, so did I pick the wrong one?
Yeah. So I think it's the left chart.
I got it. Wait. Let me see because he said. So he sent me the picture here.
Right. So if you click on the left chart,
this one.
Yeah. Expand that out, and then. Looks like he just took off most of the channels. So on the right side.
That's a series of channels. Oh,
yeah. So on the right side on the object tree, just maybe turn off all those channels. Bottom right there. So just hit the eyeball and see if it.
There we go. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, well that's kind of cool though. That's the one I want right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks a lot like most of you guys. May be familiar with Dave the Wave and his analysis here. He's been a little cautious of Bitcoin here because the depth of retracement is inconsistent with these previous retracements, right? How deep they've gone. So here, if we're going to keep going, right, this would get us there. We'd be making. Well, here we can just tee it up like this. I think he's got us right here. Well. Well, so this is the big question marks with Bitcoin, right? Are we done, right? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going for 5, right? That's what everybody's wondering, right? Most of crypto world thinks the 4 is in, we're never coming back again. Okay, I won't be disappointed if that's the case. We'll see, right? So this right now, we're still in that area where you can't be definitive about it. You can't. I mean, you can trade it, right? You can lean into it, right? You could be wrong, but we can't eliminate the possibility here of either another push down to test the low, or that we go into a triangle before we go further, based on the relationship here of this being so deep, so sharp, and that if we're going to go sideways here for a while, that actually would not be a bad thing. We'd build a base here, and then the alts would be able to just scream, which is sort of what we talked about before. But the premise being, if we're in, right? So if it's the impulse, we're going to truncate here, or we're going to come up with some way we're going to get it done down there. And we've looked at a couple. It could be 1, 2. And we're in the 3.
He said to zoom out and look at the relationship of the wolf ranges from the.
Oh, okay.
So the 3 waves that we've got going up, he's got the fractal basically, and look at the wolf ranges.
Oh, I love when they're bringing in the wolf range. Okay. Oh, this is nice here. Well, so from this one, okay. Well, let's look at all of them. All right. So here's we're going back to 2011. So I'm sure on Bitstamp, that's the lowest low they have. Oh, so where's his 1? So I got 1. And that goes to the -3. Okay, so the first one goes -3, retraces, and then we go 1, 5 here down for this, and then we start again. So, geez, I got to put my wolf range on here to track it. Sometimes it's hard for me to follow. Okay, so if I put it here, where's his 100? There it is. Okay, so now I'm with you. Okay, so here's the range that we're now expanding. That's what wolf range is. It's just range expansion. So here's the range. We come back to the 50. Here's the 50, the 100, -1. Look how -150, all the way up. I think we looked at this not too long ago. And then there's the -300. That's to the tick, right? So how do you know? So a lot of times it's a little bit, particularly when they've gone this far, it's a little bit of what you're looking for is, where is the 100 hitting? So if I go here, where am I hitting? Because the other thought is that it's here. Right now, look here. So if this is the 100, because there is a count that would have us going 1, 2. Now, look. Right, so it's a little bit of, if they both work, well, here I blew right through the 100, maybe a slight pause, but I got the 200 and the 300. So I would stick with that. And then here, do the same thing. Let me get the wolf on. Is that how he's doing it? Right here. Yeah. Okay. So we're right to the 3. So, okay, you would make the same assumption if I hide. Can I hide that? Let's hide that. Okay. So we would start over again. Let's get mine off. Oh, that's his. Let's get mine off there. Okay. So here's the range. Here's the expansion, right? There's the 400, right? It's just negative because we're just going up. So 200, 300, -400, right? So he's taking it all the way up to hit the upper edge of that channel, which would put us at 321,652 if this is going to stay in alignment with this range expansion. So the first thing we got to do is this low has to hold. So up we go. 1, there's the 50. -50, there's the 100. So he's going for the -150, which, if I'm not mistaken, we had that earlier. So all the way up to get that range, right? If we're going to 3, well, essentially let's call it 350 in Bitcoin. Well, if that's the case, then we'd bring up a count on it, but we'd be doing 1, 2, we're working on 3, 4, 5 would finish. So we'd lock in that this was our 4 low, and 1, 2, looks like he's going 3, 4 up for the 5. So maybe the extension's in the 5th, right? I mean, this is, he may have just drawn that relative to those relationships. It could easily do like this, right? You could just as easily have this.
Yeah. It's just a fractal from our previous smaller waves.
Yeah. Right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for that's a sexy looking outcome right there. So if that's what we're doing here, right? So the real question is, can we get up here and break this and get through it, come back, test? This would actually not be surprising at all. So here's the big break. Everybody, retail comes rushing in. The first thing that happens is we retrace, and you'd come right back to that structure, and then we'd start to go again. So this is just classic, right? This is exactly the way herd mentality works. So we break the new high. Now it's all over the media. Oh my God, Bitcoin's going to 100,000. It's now retail comes rushing back in. What happens, right? They get crushed. It's just the way the markets work. And then, so retail gets buried down here, and long-term holders and professional traders, or people who understand how the market moves, are going to say, oh, well, I'll just take all of those stops. You can just load them off to me. And then it carries on, and they go, what happened? All right. That looks good,
I like his alert up there. Look at the top left.
Sell. I didn't see that. Sell your shit. You know what? I rarely sell any Bitcoin, but if we got to 350, I might sell one. Nice work, James. That's really pretty. All right. So that's bull porn. No doubt about it. Okay. So I got Grant F with Baba. Okay. So we'll get a little mix here. I'm going to keep that one, James, so I can, because since I get to keep all the stuff that comes over here. Okay. So that it will save that for me, because I saved that. Okay, so let me come back here. That's EOS that we just looked at. So let me get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. There's ETH. We already did that one. Let me get rid of that one. We're back to Cardano. Okay, so let me get next. I got Grant F, who always gives us something good to look at, and he incorporates harmonics into his Elliott analysis, which is a very valid way to do it. Okay. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. Well, I mean, what a great setup for those of you that are traditional traders. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here, I got to make a copy. Hang on. I almost don't, because his work is so good. But just so that we can show it to people. Baba, great one to trade with options, right? It moves. It's got volatility. You've gone through this correction. Look. Now, you can't make this stuff up. Look at the reaction at the golden zone. So you go, well, wonder why it stopped there. Wonder why it did that. Right. So here's sadly, you know that people that are new to the market, they've heard, oh, I put my stop just a little bit below the 618. Right. So a bunch of stops got hit there, and now it just comes rocketing out, and they're like, what the I knew that thing was going higher. Now, you're not there yet, right? To where you can say, oh, okay, because we're on an 8-hour here. We don't have a clear impulse, but what we do have, which should surprise 0 people that are watching this live stream, because I'm going to assume you've seen some of our teachings before. We're not saying that it couldn't go lower at the golden zone. What you're looking for is the reaction, because the reaction confirms the algo is participating there. Well, that wasn't really much of a stretch for something like Alibaba, but do you see it? It's not just that it comes out of there. It comes out of there aggressively. Now, you might say, okay, well, I don't know anything about that algorithm. Look at the RSI. We got to what, 19, 18? So you've got the combination here. This is a reason why you would sit here and watch this live stream. It's like, again, assuming you've got interest in trading traditional assets. So look at the confluence here. It's just, we've got a completed Elliott count. So there's pattern. We've got enough time that's passed here. We've got and you can't miss this shit, right? Okay. There's a big giant 3, and it's done it in fib relationships here, which gives us the harmonic. What do we got there? Butterfly? I think that's a butterfly. Oh, bat. Excuse me. It's a bat, right? So from the low here, from the X, we go up. Now we come down here. Each one of these is at a fib relationship. And then we add in the golden zone. I mean, I say this a lot. Why would you not take that trade? Seriously. Why would somebody go, oh, I'm not going near that. Oh, I'll see, who would say that? Someone who's going to wait. I'm going to wait till that breaks out. Once it breaks out, then I'll take it. That's what retail does. And what happens as soon as they say, okay, it's safe now? That's what happens. right? That's why what's different now is that the volatility, particularly traditional assets where you hear about the Robinhood millionaires, is what's happening. The volatility is so extreme and the market is so artificially inflated. And we are so far beyond fundamentals in traditional assets. It's obscene. I don't know that we've ever seen anything like this before. So the Robinhood traders are getting rich because stuff is just going without, it's not moving it's because it's so artificially pumped. So you can buy this and you'd be sloppy. Oh, fuck, I'll just throw some in there and see what happens. It's just going, it's not pulling back, right? Because the Fed just keeps flooding the market. As long as they keep doing the repos, the market's just going to keep going up and up and up and up until something's going to burst, right? And when it breaks, it's going to be ugly. But until something changes, it's just going to keep going, right? How many all-time highs have we had in traditional assets this year? 68. It's just insane, right? So coming out of here, this is everything you look for: pattern, price, time, geometry, and I got a harmonic to boot. Right. So you can see he's got 3 targets, as he always does. Right. So note where he's exiting, right? Technical levels. That's a great setup, Grant. Beautiful. Thanks for sharing that one. So anyone who's a traditional asset, you can do that with options, right? So let's see. You got to be careful with options because the time decay is your enemy there. So if you can be right and still lose money. If it goes and it does something, it's kind of slow to get there. All right, you could all of a sudden the time decay is eating away, and you were right, but the option's going to lose value. So you want to buy. Like my rule of thumb when I was doing a lot of option trading and 10 years as an option broker, I would talk to my clients and say, it's tempting to buy the one with 30 days, but the time decay accelerates inside of 30 days. So you want to look at. I used to tell people 90 days, but then you go, oh fuck, man, but I got to pay. Look how much more that option is than the weekly. Well, yeah, but you want to get that. That's not going to happen in a week. I mean, just here, we're going out to March of 22. So if you've got a 30-day option, you're not participating in that. You need a long one here, but now you could buy one and say, okay, well, I'm going to buy the 60-day. Okay, I made some money there. Here comes the retrace. Okay, now I'm going to go into another 60. Okay, I can get that. Okay, all right, now I'm going to take some profit there. Now I'm going to get into the last one, right? Each time you're buying at the money, always better to buy at the money. 90% of out of the money options that are purchased expire worthless. Right, it's very tempting. Oh, look, if it goes up to this. So if I buy this option here and it comes all the way there, man, I'm going to fucking kill it. No, because time decay is going to eat away at you, right? So either buy the underlying here. If you're playing with options, you got to know what you're doing, right? It's not easy money. Where's the easy money in option trading? Selling the out of money option. Who's buying out of the money options in traditional assets? Retail. Sell them out of the money all the time. But where do you get hurt, right? So you say, God, 90% odds? Wow. But the problem with that is that the 10%, if you don't manage the risk, you can completely blow your account up because you have unlimited risk, particularly if you're selling calls. So to do it with a call spread, that way you have finite risk, but you have very high probabilities, right? So how would you trade this? So how do you take advantage of that? Well, the market's been coming straight down. So where's all the premium going to be? In the puts. So you could sell out of the money puts down here, but you do it as a spread, right? So you have finite risk. That way, the time decay is working for you, not against you. Right? You could sell an out of the money call spread here and buy an out of the money put spread and buy a call spread here. So you got time decay working for you here. If you did it that way, you'd have time decay working here, and you'd have the beta, the alpha potential here. If this is going to start to go, then those options will go into the money, and there's lots of potential there. All right, I'm droning on here. I know the majority of people watching are not traditional asset traders, so let me keep moving. I got.
We did just have a super chat.
Oh, thanks. Oh, hey, I guess I'm going to say Jesus. Thanks, Jesus. I appreciate that. All right. So so we'll circle back to him because he's looking for something, right? He wants to see.
BIDU. I'm not sure if that's traditional or
Baidu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll circle back to that. Let me get through the members because we only have 3 more.
Okay.
Okay. Remind me to come back for Jesus. Don't let me forget that. Okay, so I got Grant F coming again. Now look at the consistency with the way Grant F approaches the market. So this is his next one. And this looks, I want to say this is Maker. Yeah, it is. Okay. Let me get that copy. Bear with me, guys. It takes a second for this to load. Grant has developed real consistency. So I know what to, no, I don't need that. I know what to expect from him. Okay. So you don't, man, come here, let me get an 8 hour here. At this point, do we need to wonder what that is, right? I mean, we can tell that's impulsive. So coming off of the low, here's why people love crypto, right? This is why right? Everybody wants to trade crypto. Base, scream. All right. So it looks like you'd have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, extension in the 5. Oh shit. Let's see. 1, 2. No, this would have to be your 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh shit. I don't even know it matters at this point, right? I've got a impulsive swing that goes up to put in this pivot. Now there's a little complexity here. That's typical crypto, that as we come down here. So we come down hard. Now, where do we fall? Right to where you might anticipate it. If it was up here and you're thinking, well, where might that fall? Well, you'd probably look at some of this, right? You'd look at that and say, okay, well, it could easily fall to some of that. Just market structure. Well, pauses here down all the way. Let me zoom in there. This is all right. Now here, it's just, he's adding another piece to it. So I have that impulsive. Well, here I start my correction. So here's an A. He's giving you the B here. The X is not relative to that. This is the X, A, B, C, D. So A, B, C. That gives me my Elliott 2. Now coming out of this, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Good. Now, this is ballsy, right? So he's using the harmonic to set up, so he gets a PRZ, a potential reversal zone, but look where it is, right? It's right at the one. He's right here at the 1618. He's going to the 1615, right? So that's kind of interesting. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. We didn't quite get there, did we? Oh, we got a little shy of it here. So it could be he's looking, it looks like that's a pretty good reaction off of it, Grant. Well, maybe. I'm not sure if you're in yet, right? It looks like maybe you got left hanging here just a little bit because you were looking for that to kick and it didn't quite get there. It's not uncommon, right? That stuff like this, just before it approaches that technical level, they'll front run it. Not uncommon, but it's not enough to say, oh, top's in. You're not there yet. Okay, I got a reaction, right? And it looks like it's, essentially it's a double top, triple top. We got some sort of topping action there. Okay. That doesn't mean the top is necessarily in, but now you all right. So let's look at all of our tools. What else can we look at here? Well, it looks like we had some pretty good divergence here. If I can get that drawn in here. Now, divergence can change in a hurry because all we've done is go back to the 0 line, which is don't assume, right? So here, you see it last time, right? Back to the 50. That's often 50 and above is where we're trending. Now, if we go down below, well, now we're trending down. We get oversold here potentially, right? Last time it got here. Last time it got oversold. Last time it got oversold, right? Again, you can't just count and assume that, oh, every time I get down here, I'm going to be a buyer, right? You'll get buried. Or every time I get over 870, I'm a seller. Careful of that, right? It's more of a heads up. Okay. So potentially we're overbought. So it's not enough to make a trading decision. There would have to be something else. Oh, okay. So I can see this. Well, I'm at a PRZ here. It looks to me like you got left hanging there, Grant, but you're going to need one more kick. I think that's what he's looking for. One more kick up. So this might have to come down just a hair. So if you go back up here, well, you could put your stop above the 165. So you'd get that, right? So you might have to fatten that just a little bit. You'd still have 4 to 1. Then here, same thing. You might have to do the same. Or you might leave it in case there's another little push up here and you get right into that where it would just be the perfect, what'd you give me here? A bat. So you'd have the perfect bat right here, right? It would get into it, but it's not uncommon, right? There's like a zone up here, a PRZ zone rather than a PRC price. Tends to be more of a zone. And so if this is going to kick higher and go up, oh shit, this could go to the 200, the 2618. Now you'd have an extended bat, but we'll see, right? So right there, I think that's one for your watch list here. Now that's ballsy, right? He's selling into the 4, trying to get it going both ways. So he's trying to sell to the 4 so he could buy into the 5, right? You get the double banger, right? That feels good, but there's some risk doing it that way. But certainly it's not like he's doing it just, wild ass going, oh hell, I'm just going to, looks like it's gone far enough. I'm going to sell that. It's in the context here. So it's not just a winging it. He's put the work in here to say, okay, there's a very good cluster of technical confluence here. So I understand why he would want to be a seller there, but that's not for everybody, right? That's not for everybody. The safer way to play it is, wait here. You've got a clear exit point right here. All right. We don't want this to break here. We're going to stay with an impulse. So what you're looking for now is the ABC, right? As he's laid it out. Boom. He's trying to get the 4, right? Willing to, if it goes A, B, willing to take a little heat on the B. Or sell the B. And then the safest way to play it is just wait for the 4 and buy the 5. But same thing, don't just buy it, wait for a little reaction, right? So then I get a stop down here. Now, if I get that, great. Good work, right? So this on the watch list, that is definitely a good looking setup. All right, whether you're looking for the short or the long, that's one to get on your watch list. Look at Fashraf coming back in for a triple. All right, what do we got here, Fash? Let me get rid of that one. Let me get rid of that one. That one. This one we looked at. Okay, so here, I'm right here. Okay. What do we got here, Fash? Luna. Oh, I've been watching this too. Luna. Okay, so he's given me, that's the daily on Luna. Okay, let me get that up here. Oh, fuck. Let's get it over here. Luna. USD on Binance. I don't know why you're not just using dollar tether, but you're not. Okay, so you gave it to me. Did you give it to me in log? Well, I'd want to be in log here. Do I have the right thing? So he gave it to me. He gave me a daily. All right, let's go to a daily, although the 8. Oh, shit, I like the 8 better. Okay, is there any confusion in anybody's mind as to what that is likely to be? That's not hard to spot, right? Sometimes people think, oh, that Elliott Wave stuff, that was good, yesteryear. Back when, it doesn't work anymore. Here's another one that I get on a regular basis. Elliott Wave doesn't work in crypto. Oh man, that we're too cool for that. It doesn't work in crypto. About once a week I get that comment under Bitcoin Friday, which just really doesn't work in crypto, huh? So crowd dynamics are different. So fear and greed doesn't work in crypto. You have to be, that's, how do you say that? And then bring up a chart like that? It's just astonishing to me, right? How someone can be that stupid, right? Just look, pull the fucking chart up. Oh, Elliott Wave doesn't, well, okay, it worked on that one, but it doesn't work for the majority. It doesn't work on Bitcoin. That's another favorite I get. Elliott Wave doesn't work on Bitcoin. Really? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So do you want to be a buyer here? Well, let's see. Now he's, get rid of that. This pretty aggressive count here. 1, 2, extension in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's looking to complete the 3 here. Let's think about that, Fash. Do I have this right? Am I in sync with what he's giving me? Luna to the dollar on the daily. I see if this is the problem with him giving me something I can't open up. I'm not sure what he's doing, but here's what I see. I'm not sure I'm with you on that, Fash, but that's an ugly start. Well, so maybe that's what's driving your thinking here. If that's the 4, that's a mighty ugly one. So this is, again, much like Bitcoin is, right? So are we going to truncate here? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4? Oh, we're going to have to truncate? Is it 8 WXY? Tough one. Well, I might compromise here. Again, I'm not a purist, so I'll if I can make sense of it. You'd hate to truncate here. So what you'd want to do here, truncation is you go there the last choice, right? If you have exhausted every other possibility and all that's left is a truncation, okay, well maybe because this is just wick and we essentially double bottom, because it sure is hard not to be thinking, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But again, since you want to go there last and this has come off of it, what would you think? Well, you'd have to think ABCW, ABCX, AB, essentially that. So this would have to be much like Bitcoin. So you'd have to be going let's see, WXY, because that's a clear 3. So you'd have to do it that way. Now, 3, 4, 5, let's take that up a couple of degrees. Okay, so this would have to be, again, same thing. All right, if that's the start of my impulse, all right, well, let's just use our tools. Well, here's the second most common location for a wave 3. If we're not going to do the 1618, which we didn't, next thing you're going to look for is the 127138. Oh, lo and behold, right to it. Okay, sideways for the 4. I got sharp here. I got shallow here. Sideways. Okay, alternation. All right, that's close. That's pretty close. 1, 2. Looks like, well, he might be right here. Looks like from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not that hard. It's not hard to spot. 1, 2. All right. So if that's the 4, 1, 2. Well, let's see. I better get that degree in there. So if it's 1, 2, let's do it this way. So this is 1, 2. Oh, let's rethink that for a sec. All right. So let me see what you're counting. So I don't get out of it. So you're going 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's see if that makes sense. You might be right there, but I'd be thinking 1, 2, 1. Can we get 2 out of that? You're kind of stuck with it. How are you dealing with that? You're just taking it as a 1. You're going, fuck it, I'll take the 1. All right, let's play with that. Let's see how that looks. 1, 2. This I would differ with you. 3, 4, 5. All right, let me get that one out of here because this that's not a great looking 2, and that's much more 4-like. So I'm going to push this one up here. Let's change that color. I'm so used to making yellow corrective. Okay, 1, 2. That's a Jesus. Can we get a 1 out of that? I guess we can. Some sort of an ugly 1 in here. If that's the 2. I guess we can get a diagonal into that. So we can get it to work. All right. I see what you're doing, Fash. Okay. This is A, B. You'd have to do it this way. A, B, C into the B, C. So the 2s works. Let's see how we did. It looks like it's, well, you know what? Just through it. I'd still draw it this way. Oh shit! Come here. Let's get that on there. All right. So I'd get that there and that there. Okay, 80% already cooked. Let's go out to the 8. Okay, so that's a bummer. All right, but you can understand why we're kind of all this little structure here. So 1, 2, that looks like 3, 4. 1, 2. Oh shit! Let's see. That's a little tricky, but it's because this looks like a WX, or pardon me, an ABC that looks very 4-ish. So I'd be doing it that way. All right. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think he might have it just right. So let's get the full count in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get that down something reasonable. Go to green. All right. I think you might have this just right, Fash. All right. So this one has got to go up a degree. Let's go to minor. All right, so that's the big one. We can even go higher, not lose track of it. Okay, 3, 4. Okay, this could go much higher. 1, 2, right? So we're still seeking the 3 at this degree. 5 still to come, 4 still to come. All right, do it that way. This is not quite as good because let's take a look here. It's a little steep, but there's a target. Let's get this on there. That could work, actually. All right, go get your 80 there. This one's already cooked, so we can take that one out. So we got our running parallel here. I don't hate that. All right. So we got some good structure we could play off here. All right. So any sort of retrace. Now you'll note here, this has gone pretty fast. So there's, even though I'm in log here, well, it wouldn't matter here. Oh, I think you got to look at this in log. It's gone too far. But right, very, very little base to build here. So 3, 4, that looks pretty good here. So our 80% is still alive here. So we've got that as a reasonable target, put us up here at 61 and change. That likely gives you your 3. And just out of curiosity, if that's going to hold as the one, that's going to be past it. So look, interesting. Look, we just tagged the 2618. So, but because it's log scale, you'd have to go up to I'd go to the 3 and the 3618. Just because it's logged, and look at that as a reasonable target. That would give it as 56, would set you up for your 3. So 1, 2, you complete the impulse here. That gives you your 3. Down for the 4. Oh, let's assume we get that 3 right there. So, all right, if I got that, okay, so, all right, so then you can just say it like that. Just bring it over. Okay, so that's where I'm looking for the 4 to the 5. All right, so now, all you have to do with this now is I'd look for that to complete. Let's get back to the median line, complete that 5. Okay, so now once you do this, now I don't have to fuss with this anymore. Okay, so that took what? 5-6 minutes. You know, if you're not doing a live stream, you can do it even faster, right? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives me the 3. So now I don't have to fuss with this. Okay, so I'm going to put an alert up here. So if I tag that, I want to come over here and check on it. Oh, do I have a good 3? How's the subdivision? Okay, if I tag it, I'm not looking to be a buyer. I'm waiting for the retrace because I got a beautiful looking count here. Okay, get me up here. Give me something technical. Oh God. Yeah. Right now, you know, so I do that, right? But nothing says we couldn't have topped, and it's not like it's inevitable that it does that. But we don't get inevitable. We just get probable. So the probable count, if we go 1, 2, we finish the impulse here, and it comes down in a 3. Well, of course, right? It's just as I was saying before, it could do it like this. It could do 3, and you're thinking, oh, the 4 is good, but it keeps going and it turns into a 5, right? That's always the risk. Oh, I got something else going on. I'm going to get a bigger correction. So you can't. When I do that, I should be careful about that. The implication isn't, oh, buy it here and you're home free. We don't get certainty. We just get probabilities and the probable path here. So what am I using here? I'm using geometry. I'm using pattern. I'm using fib relationships, i.e. price and pattern. I'm using geometry as a leading indicator. So it's giving me this target and this target. I'm above the Vegas wave. I've got a clean count off the low. I understand where I am. Context. So if this comes back down here, I buy that without hesitation. But I don't just sit here with a limit order, right? I want to show me a reaction and I'm in, right? Because then I can get, right? Stops right here. Up we go, right? No knockout blows, right? Don't ever, if it happens to you, it's always self-inflicted. There's never any reason to get knocked out of the market. If it happens to you, you did it to yourself. Now you got to start all over again. You got to build your account back up. Right? Why? Because your ego was too involved here. You did like, damn it, I know that thing's going up. Right? And until the market has blown you up, maybe that's what has to happen for people to respect how quickly the market can pick your pockets. Right? Again, as I say this often, you can't trade. You can't be fearful of it. Right? You got to try and be in flow with it. So you can't be in the market and be scared. Money never profits. You can't be scared. You want to respect it, but you can't be afraid of it. So you got to be able to. So that's why you want to put all of the ingredients here. So you have pattern, price, time, geometry, all of it, so that you're not fearful. Okay, I can take that, and I got to stop on it because they're not going to knock me out. I'm not letting it happen. Pretty good work, Fast Rev. All right, let's go. How are we doing on time? We're hit 11. Okay, I better pick up the pace here because I'm going to circle back to because we got a couple of donations. Thank you for that. Okay, I got Pizza Man. All right, Pizza Man, the improvement. I wish on some of these live streams, I could show you some of the first charts that some of these members posted, because you would be floored by how radically they've improved. Pizza Man, he was pretty good when he got here, but boy, he's really gotten good now. Let's see. So let's go to, right? I love to see that. When that comes up, I know he's putting the work in. Okay, copy, save. Let me get over here, see what we're looking at. FUV. Half the time with Pizza Man, I got to look up what they are. Let's go to FinViz. What is FUV? FUV. All right, well, this looks pretty good. Let's get that out of here. Let me go. I always have to pull back so I can get some context. Okay, so here's where we start. What is FUV? I'll pull that up on the right. I can see what the hell they are. It's not coming up. What are they? Consumer cyclical recreation vehicles. Arcimoto. All right. One of the nice things about being a technician is that I don't need to know what they do. All right. But I wouldn't, if I'm going to trade something, at least I want to know what industry they're in. Okay. So this is pretty good. So we've got earnings that just hit. All right. So look what we have here. Pattern, price, geometry. It got a lot of work in here. So right as we sit here, it's interesting. So we're right in this little, you want to look for these, right? Low volume nodes, right? That's something to look for, right? Because we don't have market acceptance here. So what happens there is either the market quickly reverses there or it falls right through it and will go to the next high volume node. So these are potential pivot zones because the market hasn't, you don't have buyers and sellers agreeing there. So you get right to the edge of it here. Often you'll see a quick reaction. So even on our day trading stuff on our volume profile, we have the low volume nodes get wicked out. Okay, so 1, 2, here's the impulse in the 3. So here, we're looking good here. So we complete an impulse here. Here's the 3 that corrects it. All right, it's not rocket science. 5s and 3s. Okay, off of the low, 1, 2, 3. That looks like a good 4. A, B, C. Oh, well, it looks like he's expanding. Do you see the 3 here? So he's going 1, A, B, C to get the 2, right? Because we got to account for the 3s. A, B, C into the 2. Oh, well, that certainly looks like the impulse. So why is it you want to get into the 3s, right? Because that's your money. So we go 7, 8, 6. Look, Vegas wave, right? Don't go eye blind to it. It happens, right? It happens to me. Sometimes I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even notice the Vegas wave was there. You're right in the lips of it. Tick, lunar shot. That's your money wave. That's the money ball right there. That's why we're always trying to get into the third of the third. That's where you make your most money, right? That's typically, again, right? We don't have absolutes, but that's usually the money making way. Well, this happens to be the third of the fifth. All right, so he completes the impulse up here, which is perfectly valid, right? All the structure, rules, and guidelines, right? Got every wave accounted for. We complete the 5. So what the only thing he didn't put is what degree that is. Okay, well, off the low, that looks like that's going to be our 1. We are still in logs, so that looks like, what do we do here? Well, you can just kind of look at it and say, well, if you're anticipating where that might find support just off of market structure, where might you anticipate that? Well, looks like structure held it from getting to the 50. Now here we get a little bit more meat here. So coming off of that reaction. So I don't know that I'd have been sitting here waiting for that. But do you see how you do that here? So this is just a great real-time example. You see me do this all the time. See, wait, and make that your stop right here, right? So here's a perfect example of it right here. Okay, so you're not sitting here with a limit order going, I'm gonna buy the falling knife because I know exactly where that's going to pivot. No, you don't. Okay, give me the reaction. Now give me the retrace. My stop's right there. Again, you can't blow me up there. You can't knock me out of the ring. If you hit me, that's just a jab. 1, 2. Now it goes, right? So that's as I was saying before, the trade that's good, you get into it and it goes your way like immediate. Oh, right. So now the stress is removed. So now hands off the mouse, right? The stress is removed. Oh my God, is this going to happen? Ooh. Now you're in sync with it. Now you can relax a little bit. Okay, I got my stop in. I got a nice entry. I know where I am. Okay, my count looks like it's playing 1, 2 stops under this. Okay, up here. Now you could, right? I wouldn't. All right? Depending on your account size, right, and your risk tolerance, you can move your stop to right here. Right, so now you're in a free trade. The advantage of the free trade is because it gets your hands off the mouse. Now, step away, let it move, let it go. You did all that work to dial this in. You got your perfect entry with very low risk. Now, let it go. Right, this is when the hard part becomes keeping your hands off the mouse. Let it go. Oh, 1, 2. Oh, it looks like another 1, 2. Well, we know what's likely coming. If this is going to hold, if it doesn't, okay, little jab, right? Not going to hurt me, not going to blow me up. All right. Come on, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? Because this can't. It's not that it can't be. It's that that's not likely to be the 3, right? Because we got to get 5 waves in there. All right. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't overlap. 5. All right. So that looks like it's a pretty good rip as well. So that's likely going to be passed. All right. So you'd have to go to the 3 in log. This will happen a lot. So you'd have to add the 3 and the 3, 6, 1, 8. But nonetheless, it looks like a good 3. All right. Now a little tricky here, right? So 4, 5 into the 1. Now what's going on here? Well, that doesn't look like he'd be done here. Why do I say that? Because does that look like it's 3? It's not, I mean, you know, what am we on, an 8 hour? Okay, maybe you could dig something out like that and say, okay, it was a 3, but better, right? And if you weren't sure here, well, okay, now I got a higher low. Right, okay, I got something to work with here. So this would be, and oh, by the way, golden zone. So and look at the Vegas wave, right? Very easy to go eye blind to that. Vegas wave pops. Now something has happened here, right? So we blow here, we pause at it, fall right through it. So where could we be? Okay, well, we completed an impulse here. So if this isn't going to be 1, if that's not enough to give me a 2, and that's not going to give me a 3. Now I've taken out that pivot. So what else could it be? Well, it's just process of elimination. That's all that's happening here. Okay, well, it's still a 3. So this being, what is he doing here? So I'm not sure. What are you doing there? I'm not sure why you're using that pivot. I'm not sure what you're thinking there. So are you going 1, 2? I'm not sure how he's getting there. Oh, maybe. Oh, I know what he's doing. He's doing this. Come here. Let's get you off of that. Because this is exactly what I would do. Okay, so that's what he's doing. Okay, so we're just shy of the 1, 6, 1, 8 here. So A, B, C. All right, so I've got my structure here for a 3. Well, right off the bat here, I can see, okay, I'm at support. So look, all right, so do you see what he did? He's not just sitting here buying it here. He's waiting for the reaction. Okay, so we're long here, right? Nice little high volume node. Now, so if you're not in this, and this is something that interests you, well, a little retrace here, you could get right in where he did. Now, so what are we waiting for here? We know we've got a candidate for the 2. At the end of the day, what have we really done here? Look at this. Right? This is all the market ever does, right? Now, what are we looking for? Right? There's complexity in between it, but the dominant swings, that's what we've done. Yeah, tricky. Market's not going to make it easy for you, but you got to be able to pull back from that. Step away from the chart a little bit. Look at it. What have I got here? I've got a swing and I've got a retracement. Now, this is a little tricky here, right? You got to put a little Elliott in there. Okay, expand the B, right? Still corrective. Now, note he's got the median lines on there, right? Which is the first thing, right? So he's just following what we're teaching. Oh, hey, I got a 3. I'm right to a corner. I'm at a pivot. I can put a channel on that because here's the traditional Elliott channeling here that he's got in here, right? Do you see that? He's got his traditional Elliott channel in addition, right? So not leaving anything to chance. Oh, okay. Not only am I going to put the median lines on, I'm going to get my channel on because that's traditional Elliott. We're going to frame the 1, 2. So that gives me some upside targets here. Now, if we get the 3 up here, then we change the pivot, right? Then if I can do it, I guess I can't in log scale, but then you'd go from it gets a little funky in log scale. Sometimes you have to draw it out of log to get it. Right there. Now they're your traditional into the 1, 2. Once you've got the 3, because now you're looking for the 4. All right. So good work here. ABC down for the 2. Draw the median lines, of course, right? So we get a target, right? Which one of these, right? We don't know where it gets there, but we've got leading. Maybe we don't know. We just know we got that 80%. right? So he's going for the upper level of, did you see his yellow channel? He's going for the upper part of the channel. So if he got here, well, there's your 80% cooked, right? Nothing says we have to stop there, but you could see how that might do it this way. So if we go up here and we get 5 and you got that, right? Next time to add. And if he did that, right, and I'm sure he would do this because he's developed good discipline. Right, so now what's he going to do? All right, now I got another leading indicator and I've got targets, right? Leading indicators. All this lagging, useful, but these are lagging. That's leading. Good work there. Another one for your watch list, right? If you guys are interested in an asset like that. It almost doesn't matter, right? So hopefully what you guys gain from this is that whatever the chart is, it makes zero difference to me. That's why I don't look at these. This is the first time I've seen any of these. I don't work through all of this overnight. I don't stay up all night and go through all this because it doesn't matter to me what the underlying asset is because they all trade the same way because it's just human nature. Right. The TA, right. That's what we at. 95% of the computer of the trading is computer driven here. Okay. So if it's 90, let's say it's that's too fat. Let's say it's only 90% or 85% is all software driven. That's why you're looking for precision because the computers are not going to be random. There's going to be a level of precision there that you're going to go, oh, come on. How is that possible that that's tagging the 1618 to the tick? How is it possible that it's going right to the golden zone? How is it possible that that's pivoting at the 50? It's not random. So how would you explain it? Right? Because I've probably shown that golden zone to target 5,000-6,000 times, at least. It's not just coincidental. That's good work, Pizza Man. So another one, right, for you guys, again, whether you're interested in FUV or not, it's the approach. It's the approach. That's the value of sitting through a live stream. All right, CZA, let me keep moving here because I go too damn long here. How are we doing? We can go a little bit longer today since we missed yesterday.
Yeah, we can go a little bit longer.
Okay, so what do I got here? CZA always gives me something interesting. So let's get that. His handle used to be CZCZA, but I kept struggling with it, so he made it easier for me. It took me a month to get to CZCZA, and then he changed it. All right, what do we got here? Oh, he's giving me the split. I like the split. All right, so we got, he's giving me, this is another look at Cardano. That's all right. Again, demonstrating that I don't look at these in advance. Okay, so that's, he likes fat lines here. So what are we doing here? So we got Cardano. So he's giving me a 6 hour and a 15-minute. Okay, interesting. All right, how would we deal with that? Well, here's what I would do. Let's see, I guess I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna split them here because I like to use them one at a time. All right, so here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's exactly what we looked at with Fast Wrap when we started with Cardano, right? So here's the 4. So he's very much in sync here. Now, question mark, right? As he's noting, is the 5 in? Well, all right, so sort of like we talked before, we have a big extension in 3. That's looking solid for the 4 right now. Yeah, okay, so this is good work, CZA. All right, so he's allowing for the possibility. So he's not going to be surprised by either of these outcomes because the 5 could be in. It could be. I think it's more probable that we're just going to do 1, 2 because the 5 relative to the 3 and the 1 would be mighty short. So you can see here he has his 100. He doesn't have the numbers on, but I just know that's 100. So here's the 618. Here's the 100. So he's showing that as the target here for the bull case. But he's not going to be shocked if it comes down because if the 5's in, he's got the zigzag already laid out. So I'm going to bet you that he did it just this way as well. Come here. Okay, so if that's the top, now look where his zigzag ends. That's good work, CZA, right? So both routes, right? No surprises, right? He's prepared for either outcome. That's just good work, right? So we have the geometry here. Oh, what are we doing there? How are you doing? Oh, it's a channel that he's putting in there. I got it. Okay. All right, I'm with you. All right, traditional Elliott. That was kind of throwing me because it looked like I'm so used to the center line being red. Boy, you got a fat. That's too fat for me. Let's go down to a 2. All right, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All looks good. Well, so I think the point here is that he's got this here as a candidate question mark. So when we retrace, assuming we start the retrace here sometime soon, I mean, this is exactly what I was saying before, right? So if it comes down here and you're thinking, oh, off we go. If it rolls down, okay, well, you know something else is going on. Now it could do this. Right, you got to be prepared for that. You could have a deeper 2 here, and then we go 3, 4, 5, right? Which I know because I know his skill level. He'd be prepared for that, but he's giving you kind of 2 routes here. If the 5's in, then you'd expect a deeper retracement. But if it's, well, he's kind of allowing for it here, right? So if it's going to do a 50, I might look. Well, so if I just look at that, so where's a likely support zone here? Something like that, likely going to be your 618. Golden zone. I swear to God, I did not set that up. There's your golden zone right there. Okay, so that's good work, CZA. But the whole idea is you're prepared for either outcome, right? So no surprises. There's nothing going to surprise him here. Good work. All right, last one. Oh, 8th and T. So glad to have 8th and T back. All right, this is GDS. All right. All right. 8th and T, one of our great success stories, came to us, knew almost nothing about technical analysis. Now is he brown? He's a purple belt. But you get to purple, look at the quality of his work here. 5 up to give us the 3 into the wave 2, right? So every bit is counted for. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's our high probability zone. We got a little squirt through on the tail of that candle. 3 into the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's tricky, right? Nice ending diag, right? Just like you'd like it. Ending diag into the 5 of the 1. So we complete the 1, A, B, C. Where do we go? Again, like you can't make this shit up. I can't show this 5,000-6,000 times. Look where we sit. Not only that, here I haven't even made a copy of that. Well, usually with his stuff, I don't have to. Look at the reaction. So there's a couple of things to note here. I can't zoom in. Oh yeah, again, I guess I can zoom. Okay, so we looked at this earlier, right? So what does the new trader do? He's like, because he read, okay, well, put your stop just underneath the 618. I guarantee you somebody who wanted to be long got stopped out there because they didn't know. Stop has to be under the 65. So it gets just enough to stop out the novice. Look at the reaction. So already that guy's going, mother. Right, so there's a little heartbreak there because they were trying to get long. Now already it's done that. Now that doesn't mean that it can't come down. It doesn't mean that this must be the low. But good God, man. Right. So if you were in that, I don't think I can draw on these. Right. So we already done that. Right. Now you can just look here and say, right. It's not hard to understand why it might stop there. Remember, right? The high volume nodes here, you got to be careful. We got to get it to this, right? So then it could get through to get to that. This is what I'm mindful of that. So I understand why it might stall there. But if we can get a little further, then I got a gap. You could already move your stop to break even. All right. Now you're in a free trade. So what do we have here? Right. I'm assuming you guys all see that. What is it? Golden corner pocket, meaning, right, as long as this pivot holds 80%, right, we could get here. We don't know, but the 80%, right, leading indicator. If nothing else, right, from the people that are watching this today, I hope you come out of this going, man, I got to find some leading indicators because everything I'm doing is lagging. I got to find some leading. Well, what's the single best leading indicator available to you, bar none? Median lines. I've said this before many times. If I could only have one tool, just one, nothing. I can't have anything. Can't have any wave labeling, nothing. All you get is one tool. Like that. I'll take the median lines. I mean, you got to have something leading. You can't be all lagging. You got to want to have a mix of the two. So I've got pattern, price, geometry. Just a textbook, right? And that's why it's such a pleasure to work with him now. Because again, he came to us, knew nothing about technical analysis. He just he wanted to learn. So there were no bad habits to break, nothing he picked up from 12 other courses that he went to that didn't work. He just came in and said, teach me. And now he just applies it with discipline. So it's not surprising me at all that he would post this. Look at the risk reward here. How many of these do you need to hit? All right, where's he looking for the 3, right? So right where we taught him, 1618, 175. What is that? That's is that is 10, 12, 10 to 1? See, you can, this is what I say, right? So jab. You can stop me out. Okay, no problem. But one of these will go, particularly in crypto, where you get that kind of range. Now, GDS holdings, maybe. No reason why it couldn't. That's just great. That's just great work. Now we'd be well beyond, right? We'd be well beyond the median line, all the rest of that. So you'd probably be redrawing and you'd be working with whatever's going on in here. We'd be working with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There'd be other median draws there. But right now, let's just get to the median line. Pretty good start. Little divergence. Let's see if I can open that up. Right, just what you'd like to see. At a golden zone, I got RSI divergence. I say this all the time. Why would you not take that trade? Jesus, I almost missed this. All right. Oh, I don't like that Elliott Wave stuff. Oh, shit. It's not going to let me do that because I don't like that Elliott Wave stuff. I work off price structure. Okay. Prior resistance becomes the support at a low volume node, at a golden zone with RSI divergence, with pattern. It's not that complicated, right? We got these ingredients that we have to have. Can we get an Elliott count on it? Is there a 5? Is there a 3? Can I wrap some geometry around that? Where are we? What did the algo do last? What's happening down here? It's not that hard. It just takes practice. But so this is the fun part. The TA is the fun, right? Where you become a trader is where you're managing your risk. Anybody can do this. You can be great at this and not make any money if you can't handle this. Solving the puzzle, that's the fun part. Right? Can you solve the puzzle? And if you can't solve the puzzle, stay out of the bloody market. If you can't solve it, because there's so many things to trade. There's so many things. Why would you struggle with something? God damn it, I can't figure it out, but I'm fucking longing it anyway. Why? Why would you do that? There's so many choices. Find the thing that you look at and say, "Oh God, I know right what's going on here." Now, can I construct a trade where I can get 80% odds? Oh, I can, and I got an algo behind me. Again, why would you not take that trade? I always ask that because somebody's got you bought it from somebody. Somebody had to sell it to you. What are they thinking? I don't know, but that's no hesitation for me. All right, let me circle back here. Monty, I know some of the people were asking. Let me see if I can get some of theirs in.
For you're through with all the members?
Yeah, that's it on the members.
All right, so we've got Jesus with Baidu, Bidu.
Baidu, okay. Oh, that's a copy. I need a fresh. Okay, so Baidu, Bidu. Stocks, right here. Let's go to stocks. Oh, I got a different template on here. Something we were messing with last night. Oh, that'll work. Okay, so let's pull this up here. Baidu. All right, with equities, we always start on the daily. Okay, so right off the bat, okay, so this is probably good exercise here. All right, so I haven't looked at this. This is just the process that I would go through. Okay, well, here's my lows with regards to this range here. So let's get some context. So I might have to go down to a 3-day here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks like that's too deep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks. We have to do WXY. We might. Well, that's actually kind of tricky. Interesting. Okay, so 1, 2. That has to be 3, 4, 5. So let's just check this. Oh, I'm gonna buy the fuck out of that. Okay, 1, 2. That's got to be a completed impulse. That's the 2. But this is a funky one. So let's see where we are here. Oh, that's interesting. Now we're in the golden zone from the pivot. But of course, this is kind of a tricky one, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that completes the impulse, right? So I would do it this way. So I would say 1. You might be stuck with the hideous 2 here, right? It's right to the 7. Well, it wouldn't be 7, 8, 6 from there. So let's just put these over there. Let's see where that went. Well, that's interesting, right? So there's the algo. Here's the break. So with the break, right? So you guys will know I would teach it to you this way. With the break doesn't mean they go short. Now they got stopped twice here. What they'll do is when it breaks to 65, they'll take the next one looking for lower. So don't worry about them, right? They'll get it eventually. So that looks like you'd have to go 1, 2, right? Because that looks like that's going to be more likely a 5. Well, that's kind of an ugly count, but that's how you're just kind of stuck with that. Because this is clearly the impulse. So you can't go here and you can't go 2. So you can't go 1, 2, 1, 2. So you're stuck with that, which is not hideous. Okay, 1, 2, but then this, right, kind of already a monkey in the wrench. So this is, I think there's some politics going on here. So 1, 2, to some extent here, if I'm not in this, I already don't like it. So if I was just flipping through charts and this came up, next chart, right? I can't say I love it. Now, I'm going to assume whoever's asking for this is in this or maybe looking to get in or thinking, oh, perhaps there's opportunity here. Well, so you could simplify and say, okay, well, this seems to be an area where we have been building because I can draw this across. Say, okay, well, when we come down here, we got earnings. We got a ways to go. So what happened? Something. So this is for an equity to do that on a daily. Something. If I swear to God, I can swear there's some news here. Something was happening with the politics of Baidu, but that's just ugly, right? So you have. So here's. You'll often hear me say, "Why would you not trade that?" Well, to this, I would say, "Why would you trade that?" Really, I'm not being sarcastic or, it's just there's really not a lot to work with here. Even if you thought, okay, I'm going to live with the funky 2 here. Let me get rid of that. I know that's annoying. If I thought, okay, all right, I'm off to a good start. Oh, let's dig in there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. That looks like a 4. It actually looks more white coffee in it, if anything. All right, so we have a base though, right? So all of this volume down here. So what's happening here? Now we're coming back to test it. So let's just use that low. All right, so that's not surprising. So we can see this was an important level to the market. Remember, it's right on the edge, right? So that doesn't surprise me. We get that reaction, but this is such an ugly chart. I would bail. Right? So I'd probably do this. All right, I'd go, okay, so that looks like you're kind of stuck with that. Looks like that's 3, 4, 5. Now let's get that something reasonable. Just at first glance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, looks like a decent 3, typical 4, up for the 5. But now look how deep we've gone. That would make me pause here because the implication is, okay, we've gone all the way to 7, 8, 6. Now, if you had stalled here, maybe you could tuck into the 1, 2. But here, I'd want to see a lot of proof here. So first, can we flip on the other side of the Vegas wave? Right. So note here, I want to go all the way up here. Now we get underneath it. Now so I'd want to see this. So I'll tell you what. So if you like Baidu, for whatever the reason is, fundamentally, you like Baidu and think, oh, this is way overdone. Right? It looks like this is A. Oh, that has to be your A, B. Whew, that's not even a great looking B. So bottom. So right. So if we're struggling like this, and you're like, oh, fuck, that's ugly, right? So maybe it's A, B, C. Again, if I'm not in, I'm already gone. Next chart. But if I wanted to be in here, taking a little nibble down here, I might do it that way. So I might say, okay, well, I'm going to be a long term. I'm looking for this long term. I might take small size here, but I would be anticipating adding as it goes. So first thing, can I get on the other side of the Vegas wave? Because I know that's pretty good long term support and resistance. Bull, bear, underneath bear, above bull. So can I get through this and can I get a decent looking entry? Even if it's a little deeper, right? Where I got a little piece here. Now, can I get into the 3 of whatever's coming? That's how I would do it. And then now, there's a lot to assume because we could do that, right? This could be A, B, C. But this seems like an area where the market has responded, right? So we come back here, it gets up, back to it, gets up, back to it. So you're really kind of range bound here. You can pull this even over further. Okay, this is the base. Well, we come back down here. So I can see why who was interested would be kind of drawn to that, saying, okay, well, this looks way overdone. I think there was politics going on here that I just remember seeing some news about it. Okay, I can make a case for an impulse here, but that is so ugly that I wouldn't go near this until I had signs of stability, right? This is just a V. It's a straight up, straight down. Why trade something like that? But
hey, I sent you, I did some Monty analysis on it. If you want to click on those, let me see. On just our DM.
Yeah. Okay. So this would be, so I show both of them, the top one first.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is, so for you guys, so actually this is a perfect segue, right? So because, Monty, has a unique approach to geometry here. He's using all the tools, right? So so if you go to one of his live streams, he'll say okay, that looks like it's an ABC, but he won't dwell on the Elliott count in the same way that I do it. So he's going to say, oh, there's an impulse and there's a 3, and that looks like that's a impulse and that looks corrective. But it's not as much Elliott focus, but it's very, very geometry focused. So looking at the range that we're in here, how would you interpret this here other than by the volume profile here? We're at this range where it does seem to be that where we find support. And if I look at your other one here, give me a second here. So if we're going to rally out of that because we're in this zone here and we've got the Elliott count here is could be, it's a bit elusive, right? So you'll often hear me say when the Elliott is elusive, don't even worry about it, right? Because you can analyze this. You could trade this without the Elliott. The Elliott's not clear. So why force yourself to be dealing with it? Now, I just out of force of habit, I'm going to try and see, okay, well, but what do we really have here? Straight up, straight down. Now, a little reaction, but at least it's reacting where you would anticipate where all of these buyers are. They're going to defend it. Now, but for me, I wouldn't go near it until I see something come out of here that gives me a 5. Give me a 5. I don't care where it goes. Just give me a 5 and I'll wait for the 3. Right now, so if I'm determined to be in it, that's how I would do that. And then right from there, right, same thing, right? I would just do this. You see how that copies over his colors? Oh, that'll work. Okay, so that's what I would do. This is too squirrely, too much volatility. Now, maybe you might, some long-term options here on the assumption that this is overdone, but you're assuming that you know why it's selling off that hard. And that dangerous to make those assumptions. So the only reason you could be a buyer here is just based off of the what's happened the last times it got here. That's what I see. Okay. Do we, looks like we got another one.
We've got 2 more. So we've got Loop Ring, LRC USD.
LRC USD.
Mm-hmm.
And that's crypto. And that's Coinbase? That'll work.
Yeah, that's one I did.
Okay. All right. Well, there's your classic. That's pretty typical alt landing on Coinbase. Straight up. Oh, it's going to be on Coinbase. Straight down. Well, right. We've never seen this before, right? Think about what we were just looking at. All right. So if I'm looking at this, so right off the bat, I'm going to log scale so I can see what the hell's going on. All right. I do this. All right. Give me my absolute low. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's pretty. Okay. So compare this to what we were just looking at, right? This one's hard to miss. Oh, that looks like that's going to expand the B. I'll put that there for a second. This looks like it's A, B. Well, we got here. Let's look at it. All right. So that's your 1. No, it's not as good. Or so we'd have to work this as a diag. 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C. So you'd have to go A, B, C. So with the overlap here. So if we're going to count it that way, which it looks like this is all the choice you'd get. Well, hang on a second. Maybe we could do it this way. Because so you could go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's do it that way because I'm on a daily. Let's go to the 8. Okay, so now we can dig in there a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go down a degree. Yellow. I usually always use for corrected. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this could be, that could be your force. Just part of the way you identify a 4 is we're not progressing the trend. The 1 and the 2, right? This is always a push to try and get those pivots, right? When it fails, that's why there's all the energy in the 3, because as you guys hear me say this all the time, right? The sellers here, I promise you, they're trying to get to that pivot because there's stops there, which they can use for fuel. If they can't get there, all the short sellers have to cover, right? So that's why you get the big 3. Okay, that could work as the, come here. As the 5 here at that degree. Okay, so let's look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got a clean 5 there. This looks like, essentially it's 3. This looks like it's 3. Got to expand the B. Essentially a double top. I see that looks like 3. So let's just pull it from the low, right? That's the advantage of having that little pivot down there. This POC, right? If I take it here, since that's visible range, right? It's not changing. So here's our structural support tied to the POC. It's a little shallow for a 2, but right now, without anything else to go on, I'd do it that way. So I'd go up a degree here. I'd go 1. Right now, that looks like that's our 2. That could change. Oh, let's go up a degree here. Let's go to minuet. Go to white. How that'll work. Okay, so how could this end up going deeper? Well, this could be a WXY, and this could be our X. This is much like what we're dealing with Bitcoin, right? Is it 1, 2? Right, because it could be. Oh fuck, I can't get that thing hot too fast for that. 1, 2, maybe. Right, this is the 3. Right, so how do you know? Right, so if it comes down here, how do you know? Right, so this right now. So how would you make that distinction? 1, 2, 3, 4. Are we going to go up? Or are we going to roll over and go down for deeper? And that's going to be the X. Well, that's where the context and the structure comes into play. So right off the bat, if this is going to be a 5, well, there's a couple of things we'd look for to guide us, right? So we don't want that pivot. If it's 1, 2, we don't want that pivot to overlap, right? Or you could have a diag as we had, but you prefer to see the impulse go, because now if this is 1 and this is 2 here. Okay, well, the time relationship is not bad, right? So the 5 up to the 3 down, okay, that's not bad. This is just volatility, right? That's very typical. Okay, are we going to go higher? What are we doing, right? So here's the classic. Guys, this is, I try to stress this in all of my videos. Somebody bought that, right? Right. Look, I just feel sorry for him. Right. There are times when that's going to go, no doubt about it. But there's a breakout trader who bought that. Right now, look how fast they get bent over. It's not like it slowly grinds down. This is a straight rip your face off. You're wrong. It's not like, oh, maybe I'm right there. Maybe that'll come back. That's just in your face. That's why you don't buy breakouts. Again, I know, right? Send me a chart. You'll show me 12 examples where it went through, but it's a low probability event. Because professionals know that amateurs are going to buy that. They know it, right? So that's why it's so severe, because that's a little liquidity grab, and then so ABC into the 2. If that's going to hold as the 2, all right, I can make a case for a 1, 2 here. That's a pretty good looking 3. Let's zoom in there. All right. That's not the greatest looking start to it, because it really looks like it's a 3, and that but sometimes, you don't expect the Elliott to be perfect. Sometimes you just got to work with what the market gives you. Now, if I went down to a 15-minute, I could probably dig something out of there. This, for the most part, looks like it's a 3. It looks like a 3. Okay, right. That's all the market ever does is 3. So here's a retracement that goes up here. All right. If I'm going to go with a 1, 2 here, Well, the median line's probably already long been passed because it's so steep, right? When they're that steep, well, I'll be damned. Look at that. 80%, right? So you're here going, oh, come on, no way. It's too deep, not going to happen. 80%. I mean, how many, they reach a point where you go, oh, come on, man. You've shown that so many times, right? So eventually, like if you're watching this live stream, please tell me that the next time you get an internal retracement, you're going to put a set of median lines on it. So at least you've got a leading target. I've seen them take 2 years to get there and hit it. If you're out on a daily, I've seen it hit 2 years later. And you're like, oh, come on, no way it's going there. No way.
Tesla did that. It went sideways for 2 years and then straight to the median.
I remember it because we were looking at it. We thought there was one more down. And, you have to use it to, okay, let me say it this way. Why would you not use median lines? If you now know that this is the single highest probability trade in the markets, why would you not be using median lines? Because you're stubborn? I don't need that shit. I don't need that. Okay, so what are you using for your leading indicators? Right? If you're a price action trader, not to make light of price action, but if you're a price action trader and you get past the high, what are you using for your target? 1, 2. Well, let's see. Let's see if we can be more specific. All right. So there's 1, there's 2. All right. If this is 1, 2, well, here's our high probability zone. Right? We didn't hit it to the tick, but pretty damn close. Looks like it wanted to go up and get the median line. So it got the median line, and what did we run into? It looks like it's just all of this. Right. The market talks to you here, right? It's talking to you here. Okay. So something happened here. So because we don't sit here, that high volume node doesn't happen that happens for a reason, right? So all of this action here is what created this. So we know this is a place where the market finds balance. Okay. The auction process is working here. Buyers, sellers. We have agreement here. Lots of handshakes. Yeah. I'll take that from you. Oh, okay. I'll buy that. Oh, I'll sell that for you.
Hey, zoom into the hourly real quick and see exactly where this is at. Put just the most recent pop right now.
This one here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it looks like it's golden zone, right? Right there. Okay, so reaction, where do we go? So if you look at that, now that doesn't mean it couldn't break, but you can understand why it stalls there. Vegas wave. Look at the Vegas. Look, Jesus, how good is that? Right. So once we get above it, right now we're just going to hug it all the way above the Vegas wave, bullish, below the Vegas wave, bearish. Right. It's such a simple way to define it. Now, right. So now, if I'm in there, right, you're kind of in an algo box here. You're just kind of stuck. That is hard to trade. So let's get it right on the pivot. Okay. So I'm right on it. So what is that? Okay. Can we define it somehow? Well, we go to the hourly here. I'd have to pull back to give it some context. Okay. If it's 1, 2, and that's my 3, I'd be looking for a little bit more. So actually that's a nice setup into an A, maybe the B. You give me something like that, right? Now it's easy to pull the trigger. Right? So if I get something like that, it makes it easy now. Okay, I can look left. Okay, I got all that structure here. So prior resistance. This was the resistance, right? We'll take this out of here. Prior resistance. Okay, if I can come back down from above, see that's the difference, right? The guy who bought this. So it's just right. So if you want the breakout. All right, so let me just finish the thought here, because this is a good example of it. This is not the place to enter the market. If it gets through, okay, right, you're going to give a little up, and the breakout trader is going to go, told you. What you want is the retrace. You want to see that tested from above. That's where you buy it. You're in the same spot. But see, if you're the breakout trader and it starts to come down, you're like, oh shit, man, I don't know, man. I'm giving back half my profit. Do I want that? That's why you don't buy the breakout. You wait for the retest of the breakout so you know if it's good. Because what are they testing here? Is it safe? If it's coming down here, am I going to find support here? Or are sellers just going to overwhelm and we're going to go back down? Right? Test it. The market is constantly testing levels. Is it safe? Is it safe? Now we can go. So what's happening here? right? So if I can come down here, you see what all I'm doing. Let's get this, right? I'm coming back to test from above. Is it safe? Can I buy it here? Well, now I got 1, 2, 3. I got pattern. I got geometry. I just tagged the median line. Now it looks like I'm heading towards the lower parallel. So I've got my leading indicator here for the possibility, right? And we don't know at the possibility. We're going to go back up here and complete the 5. So let's label it. What do I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we know this is what's going to happen? Of course not. But if I'm analyzing this, I'm here going, well, I certainly don't want to buy, right? Of all the places to not buy, right into a golden zone would be probably the worst place to enter the market, with the possible exception at a breakout. But this occasionally will go. This is just stupid, or you don't know about it, right? So you want to wait, right? So let it, same thing, right? It's the exact same idea. I'm not saying it couldn't break. Of course it could break, but let it break and then retest from above. That's the safer way to do it. You don't need to be a cowboy in here all the time going, oh, hell, man, I just buy those breakouts and I just let them rip. You don't need to do that. You could be smarter about it. You're competing against the smartest people on the planet, and they're trying to pick your pockets. So you're going to be a cowboy about that? No. I'm not going to buy right into where I know software is going to activate, and they're going to sell it because they got a target right down there. And so if it does that, all you've done is completed the pattern. If it goes from this golden zone to this target, well, we know what happened there, and it creates the 3. And it's, as I was telling you before, it's all the market ever does. Right? There's lots of complexity to it, but all it ever does is this, right? At some degree, that's all it's doing. That's what this is, right? Just got more legs on it here. Same thing going down. That's all it ever does. 3s, right? And if you get a 5, right, it's just 2 3s connected. This is what your eye needs to be focused on all the time. Where is the last time that happened? And if it goes a little higher, could it be that I'm going to get my 3? I'm going to get a little corrective 3. I'm going to get the same thing going the opposite direction. Oh, where's the next little 3? Oh, there it is. Right? That's the Elliott wave structure right there. 1, 2, big 3. Oh, I broke this, got a big extension. Now I'm waiting for the next 3. Now, okay, there's more complexity, right? It can be, right? We could end up with something like that. You could have a double zigzag. There's complexity, but at the end of the day, it's just a big 3. Pattern, price, geometry, right? It's not that hard. It's just not. It just takes experience so when it's right here, you're like, oh shit, man, I don't know, it's going down. I can't buy it when it's going down. Well, okay, I'm with you. Don't buy it when it's going down, but have a target. So I can look here, go, I got structure. I got an algo target. I got the median line. I got the Vegas wave because the Vegas wave will be rising. I know where I'm wrong here because I've got my wave 1 pivot. So if it comes down here, you don't have to buy. You don't have to sit there with a limit order. Wait, get the little reaction, just like you're getting the little reaction here. Get the little reaction and then, right there, stops under the pivot. That's the trade you're waiting for. And it shouldn't threaten because your assumption is that's the low. So that's why you don't need to I'll give it a little more room. Maybe it's it's probably turned into a diagonal. You don't need ever to do that. I would much rather take the stop here and reevaluate. Maybe that's going to be a 5. Well, if that's going to be a 5, well, then I'm looking for a 3 next. I'm looking for my 3 here. Okay, give me the 3. All right, so you're going to be a little fancy on me. Okay, well, maybe I'm going to get an A, B, C, and I'm still going to come because I could easily, this could end up right back down here. Right? Would the count have changed? Nope, it wouldn't. I still have if this goes into complexity here, if I get let's say I get a zigzag, as long as I don't overlap this 1, my count is still valid. I still have that same leading indicator. I still have the same target. 5s and 3s.
All right, we've got one more. It's IOTA USD. And
Which
then
one?
it's IOTA USD.
Oh, IOTA.
And then that's 2. Let's see, we've been on for 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
so.
okay. I guess, is there any...
I don't know what's the longest, but I guess USDT, it doesn't really matter. Whichever one's got the longest history.
Yeah, that'll work. Here, let's go out to a daily. All right. Well, that looks like all of crypto, right? Here's a COVID low, right? Question mark on the 2. All right. So just, right. Same way every time. Okay. Where's my wave 1? Where's my structure? Well, right off the bat, you can just kind of look at all of this and say, okay, well, all right. Now you want to tighten it up a little bit. Okay. This is my base. All right. It came straight shot. Right. So this obviously was overdone. Okay. 1, 2. 1, 2. All right, so let's label it up. All right, just process of elimination. I got no other candidate here. 2, 3. Sure looks like a 3. 4. I mean, I'd be hard pressed to find someone who would count that differently, because looking right in here, we can just do the same. Right? It's waves within waves within waves, right? That's the Elliott Wave Theory. Let's go here, right? So where am I here? Now I'm in log scale, right? So let's just take a look, right, into the 2. All right, so it's a little shallow. So this may be struggling to get started. So I've got his, you got to do it like this. See if I can get this logs. Fuck, I'm not gonna be able to do it here. I'd have to take it out of log, but I would do it this way. It's that log scale makes the channel hard to work with. I promise you, obviously I couldn't have, we couldn't have set this up, right? So that's somebody on the, I swear it always feels that, right? Where do we stop? Golden zone. I mean, so if it's going to go deep for the 4, so if we're not going to have a ripping 3, and it's not uncommon that you would do it this way, but what helps me here is the clear impulse in the 3. Now the alternate here, which is a possibility, because that's deep for a 4. So ideally, one possibility here, you could go 1, 2, 1, 2, right? And that would be extremely bullish, but you wouldn't do that here until you had an extension here where you would be backing up on this going, oh, well, I got a shallow 2 here, but I got a very deep 4 here. So right off the bat, you might be could be a 1, 2. There's no better way to count it here, really, with this, right? So it's kind of all of crypto, like where was the 2, right? But this is clearly the 3, 4, and then we finish with the 5, right? So you're kind of stuck with this. Well, coming off of that, I've got an impulse, but it wouldn't be unrealistic to be thinking 1, 2. I might have that as an alternate, but just as we sit here, right? We're kind of making this point, right? It's been in almost every chart we've drawn up. What do I have here? Golden corner pocket. So what does that mean? It means I've got 80% probability of getting to that median line, right? As long as, now if it breaks, right, you could draw it lower, right? If it goes here, right? So it's when we get the pivot. Now, sitting at the golden zone above the 1, this is a reasonable spot to say, okay, that looks like a good target. So if you're not in this now, for whatever reason, you just like, hey, that looks pretty interesting. Now it looks like, hey, maybe that's the start of the little 3 that's going to come down here. So there's where you buy it. And what am I trying to get into? My money wave, the 3. Now, this could be 1, 2, and you're getting into the 3 of the 3. You don't know. But right now, what I know is that I got 80% odds there. And if I can make it technically, if I can double up on it, well, I can be a buyer because I know, right, if I'm going to just follow here, not only do I get the Elliott wave count here, I've got an algo at my back here. So I've got back-to-back algos. I got this guy and I got this guy. All right, so now I got double firepower right there. Right? Wouldn't that complete a nice 5? Then you might, just to finish it off, let's take the length of the 1. Oh, God damn it. I'm always so fast with that. Length of the 1 projected from the 4. Look where the 100 lines up. That's what you call confluence. I can't make this stuff up, right? I can just show you over and over and over again. And what happens, members see it so consistently that they go, well, holy shit, man, I can't deny this anymore. And they start to incorporate it. And all of a sudden, members start posting charts, and every chart has median lines. or some adaptation of geometry. Doesn't have to be a median line, could be a channel. Just show me that you're using something that's a leading indicator and you're not just working off of oscillators because they're all lagging. Okay, now do you understand a little bit about market structure? Okay, what else can we put in here? Are your fib swings? Are you following along here? You got this, right? You're not buying into a golden zone, are you? It's just there's a logic to it that if you really start to think about it, okay, well, I can sure see whether you're an advocate of Elliott Wave or not. Can you dispute that there's 5 there? I think not. That would be hard to dispute. Elliott Wave doesn't work in crypto. Really? So that's not an impulse. That's just the random swings of the market. Well, I know I'm looking for a 3. Now, this is a little funky. This looks like it's a WXY. Well, it is a WXY, right? So here's where it gets a little more tricky, right? Pardon me. So you would have to do it this way. So you just look at this and say, okay, ABC, are we done here yet? Oh, maybe, but what do I get? Another 3. Oh, so I can't be done. So what follows that? Another 3. Remember, so you see 3 followed by 3 followed by 3. Okay, well, we can deal with that, right? There's a solution there. Okay, ABC goes into a W. ABC goes into an X. ABC goes into a Y. Okay, so now my pattern, look how technical my pattern is. I come to think of it, right? It looks like that's technical as well. Let's just check that. Oh my God. All right, so look. All right, so it's not tick perfect, but we're right where you're looking for it, right between the 50 and the golden zone. Now that looks like that came a little shy of target, right? Here's its target right here. So you can see what happened here. So this algorithm here is looking to get to this target. What denies it, right? This algo, right? There's always a battle between algos on either side. There'll be another one here as well. So it's just so right now, this market is just in a big fib fight. But what? So how do you go, shit, man? Well, how do I know which way who's going to win that fight? Well, that's where you circle back and say, what's the context? Do I have I just had an impulse. Now I just had a double zigzag. Okay, so I got ABC, ABC. All right, I can deal with that. At the end of the day, it's just another 3. It's just got a little complexity in it. 3, 1, 2. Get into the money ball, right? This is just sitting here, right? So get this on your alert screen. Get some median lines on it. Draw the golden zone. You got this algo is already participating. Now, give me the next retrace. Boom, right? And if you're in that, right, you better get a stop on it. Now, you could use this for a super low risk, or you could use this if you want to give it a little more breathing room, right? Use this. But if you use that, well, then you got to reduce the size, right? You just got to be mindful of the amount of size you're using there if you're going to give that more room. All right, that probably do it for us. We good, Monty?
Yeah, we're good to go.
Okay. Everybody who was nice enough to donate, give us this guy's been, is a good Elliottician, right? Allied Master Computer. He's had some thoughtful comments on Bitcoin Fridays. I like his commentary has been quite useful. Looks like he's been watching as well. Looking at Cardano 5 after triangles don't usually. He's a purist. Looks toppy. I like that guy, Allied Master Computer. Okay, let's wrap it up. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us. Hopefully, you picked up a few things.
Yeah,
that's our goal here, and you got a few assets here that might hit your watch list.
Yeah, and tomorrow morning I'll be live streaming, and it'll be the Monty analysis
completely
way.
Different, right? You'll find it's a different approach here. It's been very popular with the members, and a lot of people doing really well with it. So if all of this Elliott detail is too much for you, or you're not drawn to it, it's either a love-hate, right? You either love it and you're like, oh my God, I can solve all the puzzles this way. Or, there's another approach, right? And you're getting from Monty a very valid technical approach, just different than what you see from me. All right, let's wrap it up there. Thanks to all that attended. We appreciate it. Sorry we missed yesterday. Hopefully we made up for it today. You got Wednesday, and then I'll be back for Bitcoin Friday. All right. We call it a day.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks to all.